In order to run the country, you have to have your party behind you at least. Calling them all idiots is not a good way to get there.
Dr. Peter Morisi is an economist and business professor at the University of Maryland. You can follow him on Twitter at PMorisi1, at PMORICI and the numeral 1.
Find Jim Bohannon on Twitter at Jimbo Talks. 16 minutes before the hour, next on America in the Morning, a gift from the National Park Service. Back after these messages.
Hey, Lucy, you're the CFO of this company.
That's why you pay me.
We need a better way to manage our expenses.
Concur.
Automated expense reports.
Concur.
Faster invoice processing, timely financial data, a whole system that helps us make better decisions around how we spend our money.
Concur.
While I appreciate your enthusiasm, I'm actually looking for ideas, not agreement.
That's why we're getting Concur for expense, travel, and invoice. Everything you described scaled perfectly to our business, and it's surprisingly cost-effective.
Lucy, you're a genius.
I concur.
Expense, travel, invoice. Learn more at concur.com.
Now, kid, I know you look at me and think, man, that guy knows everything. And you're right, I do. But occasionally even I get stumped. I know, hard to believe. But when I need help, I get it from Grainger. Grainger can solve just about anything, from finding the right products to advice on installation to troubleshooting. Grainger gets me what I need right when I need it. When a guru needs a guru, who does a guru call? Guru calls Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Fit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
It's a new look to the Seattle Mariners. From the GM down, things have changed. One thing that hasn't changed is that we at iFIBER ONE Newsradio are still your only southbound home for the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners are brought to you in part by Desco AV, Arch Mechanical Services, the all-new Gillis Auto Center, and the Roof Doctor.
Functionality.
Welcome back to
email migration, data recovery, and quality of service. Move securely to Office 365. Visit barracuda.com/essentials to learn more.
Through April 24th. That includes free admission to all 410 park units and events tied to the 100th anniversary of the creation of the National Park Service. Dan Chu with the Sierra Club says many more Americans will have the opportunity to be exposed to the wonders of nature.
It's just a celebration that these parks belong to all of us, regardless of where you are and your ability to pay to come into a park. They don't want that to be a barrier this year, and make sure that people from all walks of life and economic backgrounds are able to enjoy the parks.
During the last year, more than 300 million people visited our national parks from all over the world. Chu says with that many people paying a visit to America's national treasures, it's vital to be responsible stewards of the land.
The overall philosophy of leave no trace. So what you bring in, you bring back out. The only thing you leave are footprints, and the only thing you take are pictures.
And Chu adds, the fact that the Park Service is celebrating its centennial this week has great significance. It's a critical opportunity.
Think about, well, what does the next 100 years of stewardship for our parks look like, and translating that into a deep commitment to making sure those parks are well funded and protected the next 100 years.
I'm Stephen Kaufman.
Well, happy 100th birthday to the National Park Service and to tennis player Maria Sharapova, who's 29 today. I'm sure he has bought her a card and flowers and maybe more as her biggest fan joins us with sports. Robert Workman.
I actually did buy her a great big fan just so she would stay cool.
Oh, there you go.
There's a lot to cool off there. She's 6 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
Sports last night, pretty busy. It actually started yesterday morning with the Boston Marathon, the 120th running of the Boston Marathon. And for the first time, Ethiopian runners won both the men's and women's titles. Lemi Berhanu Hale took the men's crown in 2:12:45. Etsede Besa was 37 seconds behind in the women's race with 5 miles to go. 3 miles later, she's in front. She runs away with it 2:29.19. American Tatiana McFadden got the wreath for the women's wheelchair race. 4th year in a row that she's won that. Also part of the Patriots Day festivities in Boston annually, the baseball game. Yesterday was the Red Sox hosting the Blue Jays. Visitors came out with the win, 4-3. Toronto scoring all of its runs in the 8th, capped by Russell Martin's 2-run single off closer Craig Kimbrell. Elsewhere, the Cubs shut out the Cardinals 5-0. John Lackey, 11 Ks in 7 innings against his old club. Another former Redbird, Jason Hayward, went 0-4 and was booed rather lustily. But did make a couple of dandy catches in right field. Dexter Fowler, who never played for the Cardinals, but he did go deep for the second straight game. Rockies rolled the Reds 5-1. Trevor Story is at it. Cinderella Story. It is 8th home run of the season. That snapped a tie game in the 8th inning. Ben Paulson followed with a 3-run tater to win it. The Mets topped the Phillies 5-2. David Wright homered twice. Lucas Duda went deep too. So did Neil Walker, but he doesn't have a song. They went back-to-back, in fact, in the 8th. That was plenty for Noah Syndergaard. He fanned 8 in 7 innings. Marlins beat the Nationals 6-1 for their first win at home under Don Mattingly. Jose Fernandez struggled with his command, but he didn't allow a hit until the 5th inning. You can't hit what you can't catch, I guess. Eventually struck out 9 in 6 innings for the win. Giancarlo Stanton went deep, knocked in a pair. Twins took their 4th straight, break up the Twinkies, 7-4 over the Brewers. Game called in the 6th when the Rains came. Angels blanked the White Sox 7-0. Hector Santiago posted 10 whiffs in 7 innings. He combined on a 3-hitter after being staked to a 5-0 lead in the 1st inning. And the Diamondbacks cut down the Giants 9-7 in 11 innings. Jake Lamb hit a tying homer with 2 out in the 9th inning, then doubled home an insurance run in the 11th. NBA playoffs, it was all about getting even on Monday, but not getting even Stephen. The Warriors shot down the Rockets 115-106 to go up 2-0 without Stephen Curry, the MVP, still out with a gimpy ankle. Plenty of other options for Golden State, though. Klay Thompson stepped up with 34 points. Draymond Green just missed a triple-double. He had 12 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. Did not commit a single turnover in 39 minutes. Excuse me, the series shifts to Houston on Thursday. Raptors pasted the Pacers 98-87. That evens that series at a game apiece. Jonas Valanciunas with 23 points and 15 boards and a lot of fouls. That snaps Toronto's 7-game postseason losing streak. The Raptors' first playoff win since April 30th. 2014. Mavericks tripped the Thunder 85-84 to level that series at 1-1. Looked like a win for the home team when Steven Adams put that back at the buzzer, sent the Oklahoma City crowd into a frenzy. Video replay, though, showed it came after the horn. Raymond Felton led Dallas with 21 points and 11 rebounds. Kevin Durant had 21 for OKC, but tied Michael Jordan's dubious playoff record with 26 missed shots, 7 for 33 from the floor. OKC shot just under 34% as a team. Tonight it'll be the Celtics and the Hawks in Atlanta. The home team's up 1-0. Home team also with the lead in San Antonio. The Spurs lead the Grizzlies 1-0. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Capitals clobbered the Flyers 6-1 to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Philadelphia scored in the game's first minute, and then Washington reeled off 6 unanswered goals. Alex Ovechkin had 2 of those and an assist. Game got out of hand for the Flyers and their fans late. The team was taking penalties for cheap shots and injuring Capitals players. The fans were even penalized for delaying the game. They were given commemorative bracelets before the game honoring the late team owner, Ed Snyder. They threw them onto the ice. Very classy. Santa was booed too. Wild topped the Stars out west 5-3. Dallas still leads the series 2-1, but Jason Pominville had 2 goals and an assist. And the Kings nipped the Sharks 2-1 in overtime. Tanner Pearson put in the winner 4 minutes into extra time. The road team has won every game in that series. San Jose is home for Game 4. They lead the series 2-1, but maybe they'll want to switch jerseys or something like that. That's Tuesday Sports. I'm Robert Workman.
It is now 7 before the hour.
Hey, Dad, can I stay in bed? Maybe I'll skip school today.
School out in April, snow fooling. When we come back after these messages.
Welcome to Staples.
Hey, Staples guy, I'm opening a business next door.
Well, welcome to the neighborhood. You know, Staples can print custom signs and banners to help get the word out.
Great, but I gotta watch every dime.
We have low prices every day. And with Staples Price Match Guarantee, you can always get the lowest price.
Perfect.
So when's the grand opening?
Yesterday.
I had no idea.
Neither did anyone else.
Trust Staples for low prices every day. Staples, make more happen. Price match good at checkout for items from retailers operating online in retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. See store at staples.com for details.
Want to know the secret to success, kid? One thing, the Grainger catalog and Grainger.com. Okay, that's 2 things. Oh, and Grainger's got mobile apps. Those sure are convenient. 3 things to succeed. Hey, and 1-800-GRAINGER. I know that number by heart. 4 things. There's hundreds of branches, too. Like I said, the one secret to keep this place running smoothly is Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's taking so long to download that song? What are you using? Dial-up?
No way, dude. I've got cable modem.
What are you, a caveman? You have access to fiber. Why are you paying more for less when you can be using the fastest internet on the planet with iFIBER internet?
Righteous, dude. What's that?
Hurley, you could be surfing the web at least 40 to 200 times faster than cable modem using true light speed with iFIBER Communications fiber internet and still save some major bucks over cable modems. Get off that old analog cable and join this century with iFIBER internet. Hurley?
Yeah?
So what are you doing now?
Dude, I'm calling iFIBER to get hooked up so I can totally surf the web at light speed.
Oh, you're such a caveman.
Ha! Totally.
You can sign up now with iFIBER Communications. You can find us on the web at iFIBER.tv or call us today at 360-427-4000. That's 360-427-4000.
iFIBER Internet. It's totally awesome, dude.
5 before the hour on America in the Morning, David Daniel explains how you can own a piece of movie memorabilia in today's Hollywood Minute.
My dear Miss Everything, make no mistake, the game is coming to its end.
Now that the Hunger Games are over, you can own a piece of them. Lionsgate and Profiles in History are teaming up for the World of the Hunger Games auction. More than 500 costumes, props, and set pieces are set to go on the auction block May 20th in California. More info at thehungergamesauction.com. Kanye West and Tidal are the targets of a class action lawsuit, claiming they tricked fans into signing up for the streaming service. In February, West tweeted that his new album, The Life of Pablo, would never, never, never be on Apple, and it will never be for sale. You can only get it on Tidal. The suit claims millions of people gave Tidal their money and personal information to hear the album, only for West to then make it available on Apple Music and Spotify as well.
Australia is a wonderful island with a treasure trove of unique plants, animals, and people.
It has to be protected.
And speaking of stars in legal trouble, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have apologized for violating Australia's famously strict biosecurity laws by failing to declare their 2 Yorkshire Terriers properly when they entered the country last year. Heard got off with a good behavior bond sentence, basically probation, but Australia's government released the couple's stone-faced video apology, which quickly went viral. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniels.
It's 3 now before the hour on America in the Morning. The calendar says April, but in Colorado, they're still dealing with wintry weather, and that's led to some spring alterations. Matt Kroschel explains.
An extra long spring break.
Awesome.
A snow day. Really?
When you live in Summit County, you get used to snow days. This one was a little different.
The school district forced to stay closed Monday because 50% of all the teachers here were MIA.
First time I can remember having a snow day where the snow's already fallen.
Nobody getting back into the county. They say they were understaffed for teachers that coming back from all their flights canceled with DIA, so we got an extra day.
Well, the kids we talked with weren't complaining. Some parents were left with few options.
A lot of parents had to take the day off.
Trying to get them occupied. They kind of got cabin fever all weekend, so we're trying to get them out.
A snow day, these mountain folks won't soon forget.
It's one of those wonderful things about living in the high country.
School officials say they expect classes to resume today. President Obama has a royal dinner date. Kensington Palace says Prince William and his wife Kate and his brother Prince Harry will hold a dinner for the president and First Lady Michelle Obama during the president's visit to Britain next week. Happy birthday today to Motorsports Hall of Famer Al Unser Jr. He's 54. And that's it for America in the Morning for Tuesday, April 19th, 2016. Our producer is Tom Dulac. Senior producer, Kevin Delaney. I'm John Trout, and this is Westwood One News.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Hillary Clinton and her husband, former President Bill, posed for pictures with polling station workers in Chappaqua when they stopped by to vote in the pivotal New York primary. Donald Trump is voting in Manhattan. Both are hoping to widen their leads over rivals in the race for the presidential nomination. ABC's Brad Milkey has a look ahead.
Call it the tale of the three New Yorkers. Bernie Sanders, born and raised in Brooklyn, trying to chase down former Senator Hillary Clinton, who leads by double digits in most polls. A big win for her could effectively close off his path to the nomination. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is poised to score one of the biggest victories of his campaign. He'll cast his ballot at his local polling place in Midtown Manhattan, even though two of his own children missed the registration deadline. Brad Milkey, ABC News, New York.
More rain and flash flooding are expected to wash over South Texas, already struggling to keep its head above rising water. Hundreds have had to be rescued and entire neighborhoods submerged. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest.
At least 5 people have died as a result of the flooding around the state. Rajiv Singh's wife is one of them. She called him from her stalled-out car.
She mentioned that she's in a little bit of trouble. She's got water all around her.
Elsewhere, emergency responders like Jeff Keyes have been urging people in flood-prone areas to leave.
I don't think they know what's going on. I think they think that it's just a little bit of water, it'll recede, and they'll get on with their lives.
The rain has stopped, but more is in the forecast. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Gas prices are on the rise. The national average is up 7 cents to $2.14 a gallon. Target is joining the ranks of Walmart and other major retailers, raising its minimum wage to $10 an hour, starting in May. The move comes as a union-driven fight for 15 gains traction. A high school senior in Lowell, Massachusetts is underscoring the problem of skyrocketing college costs. She's been standing on the side of a road holding a sign that reads, "High school senior, no money for college, anything helps." Emily Stutz says it started as a joke when she got her tuition bill and said she'd probably have to stand in the street and ask for money. This is ABC News.
Hello, spring. Goodbye, smooth ride. When old man winter has his way with the highways have their way with your steering and suspension. Now, you've got a choice. Overcorrect and hold on tight, or clear your Saturday for a weekend in the garage with quality Moog parts from your neighborhood Advance Auto Parts. Right now, get double the speed perks rewards on all trusted Moog parts you buy through the end of the month. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
I've always had the dream, my whole life. I wanted to live on waterfront property. My favorite thing is just that little sound of that motor going by in the distance. And then about a minute later, the waves come out and make the old rickety deck squeak a little bit. It's where I want to be.
Home means something different to everyone. With millions of homes for sale or rent on Zillow, whatever home means to you, Zillow can help you find it.
Rescuers are racing time to find survivors of the devastating earthquake in Ecuador. ABC's Lindsay Janis is in the quake zone.
In the early hours of this morning, we finally arrived in the town nearest to the quake's epicenter, the coastal town of Pedernales. It has been very difficult to get here. In fact, police telling us that they really just began the search for survivors 1 day ago. So far, just one little girl pulled out alive. They say they are hopeful that others will also be pulled out of the rubble alive. I can tell you this town is completely devastated. Lindsay Janis, ABC News, Pedernales, Ecuador.
Co-star Ray Romano was among those mourning the passing of actress Doris Roberts, who played his mom on Everybody Loves Raymond. Romano told people she had an amazing energy and spirit, whether working professionally or with her many charities, or just nurturing and mentoring a young green comic trying to make it as an actor. She did it all with such a grand love for life and people. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Freychenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and it really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and then even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have in Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area. Kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
Self-control, self-discipline. It's one of the most powerful things that a human being can learn. Parents who do not teach their children discipline do not set them up for the ability to learn to discipline themselves or control themselves, because you are not teaching your child self-control. Consequently, we've raised a wussified generation. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. Taxes are on everyone's mind. Make the most of your tax refund at Whitney Chevrolet in Montesano, where the sales tax is lower than most places in the state. Plus, other dealers' factory costs are more because they roll in the cost of the advertising. We don't do that, but we do offer lifetime oil changes on every new and used vehicle. Stop by or visit WhitneyChev.com.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Worth the drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the M's against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pregame is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 6, and I'm Carol Gardner. Another beautiful day today. Still warm from yesterday's breaking heat records. Yesterday was the hottest April day ever. Official high of 89 up at SeaTac,
Wow.
which, by the way, it broke the record before noon even for one of the hottest days. Amazing how awesome it was yesterday. Again, possibly breaking more records today. It will be sunny tomorrow, but cooling off into the mid-70s. Right now, it's 47.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Oh boy. Well, good morning to you. It is Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio, iFIBER1newsradio.com. New website this morning got started up yesterday afternoon. We're working through it, and we'll work through it together. And we're looking at the live feed there on iFIBER1newsradio.com. Carol not happy with the screenshot.
Well,
I don't know how it chooses it. It just kind of picks the first.
Yeah, and we had it
No, I know how
shaded out.
picks the first worst picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Possible. Good morning to you. Yeah, it was a beautiful day yesterday. My goodness, it was warm. When I left here, it was, I think it was already 80 when I left here at noonish.
It was really warm and quite nice.
It was a nice afternoon. I hope everybody had a chance to get out there, maybe hit up a new city park that they didn't know about beforehand. Today, Jeff Vrabel, Facilities, Parks, and Trail Manager, and Carl Olson are scheduled to come on with us at 7:45 to talk about the parks in Mason County proper, as it is continuing on National Park Week here on, across the country. Going to get a call in from old DJ Dale at 8:15 to talk about this weekend's events, including the Traveler 5K Run Walk. It's going to be out by the Alderbrook Golf Course and through the Alderbrook residential properties there. It's going to be a beautiful day for that. And then Seth Elson at 8:45 for our Environmentally Sound. 6:12 here, some headlines that we'll talk with you about after the break here in just a moment. The Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way improvements start today. The state to spray over Tacoma and Seattle to kill some gypsy moths. Also, as Carol mentioned, it was the warmest April day ever on record. And additionally, ABC News has more information on the disappearance of those two guys from Arlington, the two brothers from Arlington. You can find information on iFIBER1newsradio.com this morning. We'll have a report from ABC News. That's all coming up here on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER One News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER One News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER One News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER One News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiber1.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It is Daybreak, 6:15, Tuesday, April 19th. Join us this Monday for another Mariners Monday trivia contest on Daybreak. Listen during Sports Director Sean Wells' Sports Report during the newscasts and get the clues you need to answer our question. Yesterday, the Colonel Kern wins a pair of tickets. He'll be up actually at the 5K that we'll talk about later this morning. But I digress. Between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music Monday, and be the first person with the right answer. It is a May 14th game against Los Angeles, and it's also Root Sports' Kyle Seager bobble.
My mom would want that.
Oh, yeah?
That's her fave.
She's a Seager fan?
Yeah. That is totally her favorite.
Kyle Seager, Bob Seager, which one?
Kyle Seager.
Doesn't like Bob Seager?
I don't know. We don't talk about that, but definitely Seager is her golden boy. You can do no wrong.
Starting today, folks, the city contractor will begin installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and city limits. We just want to make sure people are aware, as it will be congested traffic-wise. Beautiful days that they have decided on to do this, so it'll be perfect for that part of it. But you're going to see more trucks and crews on site than there have been to date. The driving lanes are going to be shrank and be very narrow and congested. Traffic flow, obviously impacted, but access to and from driveways could also be impacted depending on where they are. 7A to 7P, the likely time to work, that is considered the daytime hours. You can check the city's website, ci.shelton.wa.us, for the latest information. We've also got that on the new iFiber1newsradio.com.
And as we all know, yesterday we were breaking records. National Weather Service officials say the temperature reached 89 at SeaTac, making it the warmest day ever recorded in Seattle in April. And I said earlier, the SeaTac record was broke before noon. It was already 81, like at 11:50. The old record was 77. And then April 30th, 1976, it was 85 degrees, so we got 89. Also, temperatures broke in Olympia and Bellingham and pretty much everywhere. It was a crazy day. Yeah, it was very hot. And today is possibly going to even break more records.
For more heat or just additional heat?
For possibly hotter.
Oh.
We'll see when, it's a heat wave, folks.
Having a heat wave. State agriculture officials are planning to spray parts of Tacoma and Seattle this week to kill leaf-eating gypsy moths. They'll use a biological insecticide to kill Asian and European gypsy moths. The insects devour shrubs and trees, make forests more vulnerable to weather problems as well. State Department of Agriculture says aerial spraying over Tacoma begins today and could take 2 days. Agency plans to spray 130 acres of Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood Thursday if the weather permits. Probably will. Several sites have already been treated in western Washington, including Lacey, Gig Harbor, and Vancouver. An assessment by the U.S. Agricultural Department says human health risks from the insecticide will be minimal. It says some native moths and butterflies may be impacted, but those effects are expected to be minor.
What do they call it, collateral? Or
I think that would be a collateral damage.
I just don't know if I'd want something sprayed out over my head.
Well,
it's all floated down, I suppose.
Too late now.
And continuing on to the horrible story about human remains found in the recycling bin in Seattle last week. So, police say that the human remains found at the Seattle Recycling Center are believed to be connected to a woman who was slain and dismembered, and they're investigating those remains that were found. Some more on Monday morning. Sanitation workers found additional remains on Friday in a waste container in the same Seattle neighborhood where the homeowner found a head and other body parts. John Charlton has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of Ingrid Lynn, a 40-year-old mother of 3 in her suburban Renton home. Authorities say he dismembered the woman he recently started dating, then drove her head and arm and a hand and a lower leg and a foot to Seattle. Gordon Hill, Charlton's public defender, has said no forensic evidence links Charlton to the crime.
6:20 here at iFIBER ONE Newsradio. More news now on the couple, the couple of brothers who have disappeared in Arlington.
A manhunt is intensifying in Washington state for 2 fugitive brothers who police believe murdered a couple who've been missing for a week. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the latest.
Authorities on a desperate search for 2 brothers suspected of murdering a missing couple. The fugitives considered armed and dangerous. The married couple, Patrick Shunn and Monique Patenode, disappeared 4 days later, police finding their 2 vehicles dumped in the woods 15 miles from their home. Authorities telling ABC News unreleased surveillance video ties the suspects, John and Tony Reed, to the disposing of the victims' vehicles. The 4 had property disputes, according to police. Family members saying in a statement, the couple had been married only 4 years. Wherever they are together. This manhunt now entering its 8th day, and police telling us they have no idea where these suspects are, but they do believe they fled in their parents' vehicle. Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So that story continues, and we'll continue to monitor it as well. 6:21, take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some more stories from Northwest. Additionally, we'll go back and reflect yesterday, tax deadline. So we'll crunch it down by the numbers after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswab's risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
.624 on a Tuesday morning, and a good morning to you. Daybreak here. Jeff and Carol kind of going over some of the headlines from the overnight. Governor has signed a supplemental budget that puts more money into the state's mental health hospitals and pays for the cost of last summer's devastating wildfires, just as we get underway for this year's wildfire season. Inslee signed the budget on Monday. It increased spending from the 2-year, $38 billion budget adopted last year by about $211 million. Does not raise any taxes. Inslee vetoed a number of portions in the plan, including a measure to shift $10 million away from the state auditor's performance audit account. The budget includes almost $15 million for aiding homelessness and around $7 million for recruiting new public school teachers and retaining existing ones, according to legislative summaries. It also draws around $190 million from the state's emergency fund to pay for repairing wildfire damage. Budget plan passed by the legislature in March after the overtime legislative session that lasted 20 days.
And environmental officials are set to clean up a Washington stream after it spent decades as a U.S. Navy dumping ground. Kitsap Sun reporting that the stretch of Gorse Creek is filled with rusty car parts, paint cans, batteries, and plastic sheeting. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency last year began preparing for the removal of about 8,000 truckloads of trash from the 6-acre site. The project is estimated to take a year and a cost of $30 million. A sum the Navy recently agreed to pay after years of legal wrangling. The Navy is deferring comment about the landfill to the EPA. Legal documents filed by the EPA indicate the Navy has acknowledged dumping the waste, but disputes the agency's claim that the trash is contaminated the creek.
You saw a picture of this.
I did, and it was pretty gross. It was.
Compared to how gross the pictures are on the Shelton to the Top Facebook page around these city parks.
Similar, I would say. I mean, it's just so sad to just see waste out in the middle of the forest, or really anywhere.
And there was a lot of stuff in there.
There was a lot of stuff in there, and it turns into, it's a creek, so it's flowing. So, when they say that the trash does not contaminate the creek, I beg to differ. I have to disagree with that. It affects it somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to call it contamination, U.S. Navy, but...
Well, it's like that butterfly thing. They say a butterfly flaps its wings, a tornado everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. They're $30 million, and it's going to take a year, and you got to get in there, sort of in this gorge thing. It was a different person, I can't remember now the name of the agency. It was a automobile wrecking thing, had to dump first, and then the Navy either took over and started dumping stuff there for some reason.
Well, that story continues then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
6:27. You make it to the post office in time yesterday there, Carol?
I did.
Tax day looming for many millions of Americans, expecting like 5 million returns in yesterday.
Hope mine doesn't get lost in the mess.
I always wonder about that too. Obviously the post office is amazing. They do great work, but it's to have so many letters coming to one central location.
But it doesn't go to one central location. If you're on the West Coast, they go to certain places. Right. If you're on the East Coast, it goes to a different place.
But still a mass number shows up all the same day.
Yeah. That's for sure.
628, let's crunch the numbers here from ABC.
We're closing the book on the 2016 tax season. A Wallet Hub survey says you probably spent more on your return. You may have paid the government more this year than last, and you ran a greater risk of becoming the victim of a security breach. Spokeswoman Jill Gonzalez.
We've seen a 700% increase in identity theft tax-related cases since 2010. And that's after 88% of those attempts were actually prevented by the IRS.
All told, we gave Uncle Sam just over $1.6 trillion. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
I'll spend that in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
628. Hey, so we went to last week I told you about a story I had read about St. Mike's in Olympia. The child care part of St. Mike's Tykes was shutting down, and they decided to kind of just shut it down and give people 90 days notice. There's 100 some odd kids. There's a bunch of staff and the ripple effect. So a friend of mine has her kids that go there, and she has got involved kind of in the deal. She called them up and talked to somebody there and was like, what's going on? Don't you understand what the deal is? And they were talking about going back to their core mission. And when she pressed them on what that meant, they couldn't answer the question. And, well, we saw them at the fair, actually, on Saturday. Turns out they've recanted. They're going to stay open for another 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. So good news.
Interesting. I wonder what the inside scoop on that was.
I don't know. I mean, they probably just didn't realize how to get all these kids to other childcare.
On iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Good, happy ending.
Yes. Thanks for the update.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Frechenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer-processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and it really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have in Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area. Kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1Newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
We have some extreme temperatures in our part of the country. I want to tell you about a local company, Arch Mechanical. ARCH, Arch. It's an acronym for Affordable Refrigeration, Cooling, and Heating. But that's not what's important. What's important is how Tom, the problem solver, is able to help solve your heating, cooling, and refrigeration equipment or system problems. Check out archmechanical.com and find out more. archmechanical.com.
No Curry, no worry for the Warriors. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports. Despite missing injured star Steph Curry, Golden State stayed the course in Game 2.
Livingston to the rim off the glass. It's good! Golden State with their largest lead of the game. Timeout Rockets. And Oracle is a madhouse yet again.
Tim Roy on KNBR. The Rockets hung with him most of the night, but the Warriors' depth helped them pull away in the fourth and win 115-106, taking a 2-0 series lead. In Oklahoma City, the visiting Mavericks narrowly escaped with a win.
Westbrook on the left side, around Anderson, met by Dirk to Durant, put it up, no good, rebound, no good, rebound, Adams put it in, they're going to count it, and Oklahoma City, for the moment, has won the game.
I don't think it's good.
I don't think it's good either.
I don't think it got off in time.
On KESN, they were right. The buzzer beater was waved off, and the Mavs win 85-84. The series now stands at 1 game apiece. To the north, where the Toronto Raptors have themselves their first playoff win since 2014. Jonas Valanciunas had 23 points and 15 rebounds as the Raptors contain the Pacers and even the series at 1-1. Stanley Cup playoff action Monday night, headlined by some late-night heroics.
Left side, Pearson shoots, he scores! Tanner Pearson, overtime game-winning goal. The Kings win it 2-1.
Nick Nixon on KABC 790 as the Kings outlast the Sharks and go up 2-1 of the first-round series. On the East Coast, the Capitals are making it look easy.
I head for Ovechkin, a shot, he scores! Ovechkin on a steal, gets to the right circle.
John Walton on the Capitals radio network. Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals helped Washington cruise past Philadelphia 6-1. The Capitals are 1 win away from eliminating the Flyers from the playoffs. And in Minnesota, Jason Pominville had an assist to go along with 2 goals as the Wild savage a game and cut the Stars' lead to 2-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
This Monday, you've got a chance to win tickets to the Mariners during Daybreak. Get clues during the Monday Morning Sports Report, and between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music, and you could be a winner. First caller with the right answer to 360-462-1041 wins a pair of tickets to the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Only 1 winner per household per season. For complete rules, check iFIBER1Newsradio.com. It's Mariners Monday on Daybreak.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the M's against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Stars born.
A star is born. There's hope for the Mariners in 17 years. As a slinger.
Good morning. It's 6:40. I'm Carol Gardner, and it's going to be another beautiful day. Great day for playing baseball.
Yeah.
Still warm from yesterday's break in heat records. Yesterday was the hottest April day ever. We should hit the mid to the upper 80s today, again, possibly breaking more records. Tomorrow, we'll be cooling off a little bit into the mid-70s.
Oh, so
right now it's
parka.
Yeah, I know. Right now it's 47.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people, you. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Oh, good morning to you. 638 iFIBER ONE News Radio. Jeff and Carol here on a Tuesday morning to you, and a good morning indeed. Great guests coming up today as we continue on our National Parks Week talk. Jeff Vrabel, the Facilities, Parks, and Trails Manager, and Carl Olson from the County of Mason, scheduled to come in here at about 7:45 to talk about the parks in the county system. There's a lot of them. We talked yesterday with Mark Ziegler about these parks in the city of Shelton, and we're going to expand out to the county. Also at 8:15, Dale will be calling in, and we'll talk about the Traveler 5K that's happening in a little bit this weekend. And Seth Elson at 8:45 for our Environmentally Sound program. 6:39 right now, and some headlines to tell you about in a couple of moments. The Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way improvements, Carol, they're starting up today. We've been talking about that, but boy, I hate for someone to have to get to an appointment. They open up their garage, put the car in reverse, look out, or don't even look out, start backing up, and then it's all construction, and you're stuck there for an hour.
Yeah, I hope that they have noticed.
So be advised that that's happening. Also, as we mentioned, it was a warm day, so we'll talk about how warm, the history of that, and allergy seasons. They're going to be spraying, starting today, some gypsy moth sprays. This weekend is a big fun event in downtown Olympia, Arts Walk, with the procession, I'd imagine, too.
That's on Saturday evening.
I know someone that we've interviewed a couple times here on Daybreak talking about various health things, and she is part of the procession.
Really?
Dr. Dinah Yu will be in there. She is with one of the groups. I can't remember the name right now, but she's in one of the groups. And if you've never seen the procession of the species,
pretty wild.
It is uniquely Olympia.
It's fun. It's really fun. It's just it's just sort of it's a happy time watching all the people walk through. I mean, it's great.
Can you look up, or I can look it up during the break, when the pet parade is?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that near Lake Fair?
I can't remember if it's Lake Fair or if it's around these times. Stephanie did the pet parade once with her little chicken. She had a chicken. She put it on a stroller or something as a kid.
My sister went through it. She was dressed up like a princess or something on her bike. There was no pet involved, but she was all pink, decked out in pink, and rode through her bike.
Again, all of these events are uniquely Olympia pet parade. So that's going on. Also, Thurston County schools are, some schools in the Thurston County area are practicing lockdown drills today, so we'll let you know about that. Hanford is in the news. Gas prices are going up, and Shirley Temple, an item of her past, is up for auction. We'll tell you about those stories and more here on Daybreak after we live the country life on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
During Countdown to Earth Day, the Lucky Eagle Casino reminds you that our biggest concern when caring for our Earth is that we put it back the way we found it. The Lucky Eagle Casino says we should all remember to leave the land as good as or better than we found it.
The following message is brought to you by Whitney Chevrolet. Do you remember when the conservation clubs warned us we were wasting the land? Now we've learned the hard way. They were right. During Countdown to Earth Day, Whitney Chevrolet reminds you that it's not too late to get involved.
You know, this is a good time to subscribe to the Journal. Most importantly, you get a great local newspaper. We were voted the best mid-sized weekly newspaper in the state, which helps you stay connected to your community. And then there is the fact that subscription rates remain low while individual paper prices are increasing for 2016. You can save as much as $40 this year with your subscription. Quality, convenience, and low price. The Journal gives you all that every week. Call 426-4412 or go to masoncounty.com.
Onions aren't known for leaving you with fresh breath, but they are popular to grow. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Having a successful crop of onion bulbs depends on both nature and nurture as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
He's done 3 tours and now he's saving his dad's farm. Do you know a farmer veteran like that? We're inviting you to share their story. Successful Farming Magazine and Grasshopper Mowers are teaming up to acknowledge and thank farmer veterans for their service. This new initiative is called From Fighter to Farmer. Enter any veteran farmers you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer. Explain the veteran's military experience and farming operation, along with the involvement they have in your community. 3 veterans will receive a combination prize package of $5,000 and a vacation to Nashville. One lucky winner will also receive a $10,000 gift certificate to spend at Grasshopper Mowers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 40 contiguous United States and D.C. 13 years and older. Begins February 1st, 2016 and ends April 30th, 2016. Subject to official rules at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer rules. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Sponsor, Meredith Corporation. From Fighter to Farmer is brought to you by Grasshopper Mowers. Enter any veteran farmer you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer.
One of my favorite things to buy at the farmer's market is onions. They're also one of the easiest plants to grow in the vegetable garden. Brad Bergerford is a horticulture extension educator at Ohio State University. He says you have the choice between planting seeds or bulbs.
Direct seeding usually is just for the green onions, which require a shorter growing season, shorter maturity, and those we would begin to direct seed to the garden as soon as the soil can be worked in early spring. Then we have the onion bulbs or onion sets. Then we can start planting onion sets or onion bulbs as early as March or as soon as we can work the garden.
Northern areas of the country should grow long day varieties, and in the south, the short day varieties. This correlates to the length of daylight and heat units needed to produce the bulbs. Onions need fertile soil rich in organic matter. If it's heavy clay, break it up with vermiculite or potting soil. Otherwise, you'll have a low germination rate, especially if you direct seed. And don't forget the water. Bergerford says in order to produce nice-sized onion bulbs, make sure they're getting an inch of water per week. They also need fertilizer, but not right away.
One of our problems our gardeners have is putting down too much of the nitrogen early on in that plant's life, and the onion plant really does not need that nitrogen early on. It needs to have the nitrogen once it reaches post-juvenile stage and just prior to bulb formation.
The timing of fertilizer application depends on what type of onion you're growing, but Bergerford says it's usually within 8 to 10 weeks after transplanting. Learn more about growing onions at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:47 on a Tuesday morning, and a good morning to you. It is Daybreak. Jeff and Carol, 7:45. We're expecting Jeff Braypool from the Mason County Parks Department and Coral Olson as well, park maintenance lead, to come in and talk with us about the county parks here for National Parks Week. Dale's on at 8:15 talking about the Traveler 5K, and Seth Elson for Environmentally Sound. Marilyn Foster's news is coming up at 7:06, and information about the motorcycle fatality Sunday night. Tumwater's shift from beer to bud. The park's in Shelton, and it is wildfire season. It was warm, and Carol will have some historical notes in a moment. Starting today, though, the city contractor will begin installing pavement on Lake Boulevard between University Street and the city limits, depending on the weather, which is very nice. The first lift of asphalt pavement is scheduled to take up to 2 days for installation. Got to be cool before traffic can drive on it. Lots more trucks and crews on site than there has been so far. Driving lanes narrowed, congestion with those crews there and equipment. Please give them a break.
Give them a break, and it's going to be hot for them also. I mean, pavement today.
They take What if they take popsicles or things like that? And if you're driving or if you have a bottle of water, I wonder if you can give it to those workers.
I don't know, probably. I don't see why you can't. But National Weather Service say the official temperature was 89 degrees at the Seattle-Tacoma Airport yesterday, making it the warmest day ever recorded in Seattle in April.
Wow.
And the record was broke before noon. The old record was 77 before noon, and it was already 81.
Jeez.
So if you were thinking, it's really sort of warm already, yeah, it was.
It was. It wasn't just you.
No, it wasn't just you. So the average temperature at this time of the year is 59 day. So we were...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's way colder.
30 degrees warmer. The unseasonably warm temperature officials say are due to warm inland air, and Seattle was hotter than almost everywhere else in the country yesterday, including Las Vegas and Phoenix.
Huh.
The Weather Service also said cities of Olympia and Bellingham broke heat records with 88 degrees in Olympia and 79 in Bellingham.
What is that, the El Nino or something like that?
La Nina.
Is that what we're at? I thought it was El Nino.
I don't know. It's springtime, so we're moving into the seconds. But it is warmer. It's going to be warmer. It's going to be a warmer, drier summer, which I believe I had predicted, but you had said it's going to be wetter.
Well, that's why I don't do the weather anymore. What's up with my allergies? They were terrible.
Yeah, but do you have mulberry, sycamore, or ash allergies?
I don't think so.
Because Scotch broom isn't even here yet.
Yes.
It's not even blooming.
I was sneezing yesterday, but it wasn't as bad as normal. So I don't think I have bad tree allergies.
If you do, it's 10.2 is what they call it. I mean, that's a super duper high allergy report. This is for the South Sound region. And then tomorrow it's going to still be like 9.9.
I think this is out of a 12 scale too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So what you can do, keep your windows closed in your home, and if you have air conditioning, circulate it just in your home and in your vehicle. Don't draw in outside air. Limit exposure on mornings that are especially warm and dry. And the highest pollen counts are between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. So
Perfect.
Don't be
out pollen in here.
Yeah, exactly. And wash your hands and face carefully.
I do that a lot. If I notice that I'm sneezing a lot, I will go in and just douse myself in water just to try to flush.
Well, even your pets will bring in the pollen on them. So you might have to spray down the animals, the kids, and the people that come into your house.
I tell you, they do need haircuts. That's not a bad
Do you
idea.
get allergy shots?
No. But I have for many years now. I mean, I guess Stephanie and I have been together 5 years, 6 years or something like that. And every night I'll take an allergy pill.
Every night for 5 years?
Uh-huh.
Because you're allergic to Stephanie?
Well,
what did you bring her up for?
Well, I brought it up because she previously had cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm allergic to cats as well. So I would take them at night so it wouldn't. And I take them at night so it helps, it doesn't make you drowsy during the day.
Right.
But yeah, I've taken an allergy pill every day. And that is what's strange is that some days they'll be like, the brand names ones. There'll be certain brand name A, and I'll be able to take that for like a year or two.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it'll also stop working. And so then I'll have to switch to the other kind for a couple years and then go back and forth. And I just recently switched and it seems to be working.
Huh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
The body just gets used to that kind of stuff.
And it looks like the allergies forecast is going to stay high and just barely lower on Saturday. So just be aware out there, folks.
State agricultural officials are planning to spray parts of Tacoma and Seattle this week to kill leaf-eating gypsy moths. They'll use a biological insecticide to kill Asian and European gypsy moths. The insects devour shrubs and trees. It can make forests more vulnerable to other problems. Department of Agriculture says aerial spraying over Tacoma begins today and could take 2 days. They've already treated parts of Lacey, Gig Harbor, and Vancouver.
And if you are in the Thurston County offices, they're having a active shooter scenario, and they're going to have lockdown drills at the county facilities. So this is going to happen anytime during this week. It's going to include 1 or 2 fake armed people per building who will actually be checking to see if each interior office is locked and secured. And these drills should be over in about 30 minutes.
Wow.
So there'll be lockdown drills Jefferson County Courthouse and other county office locations. This week, various times, duration less than 30 minutes. So if you see something, well, I don't know. Do you call it in anyways, just so you're paying attention?
Well, it'd be nice to think that they would get a couple calls.
Right.
Did you see the video of the couple at the bar in, we'll say Montana, just for fun.
All right.
And they're sitting at the bar, and it's a couple, and they're necking. And the next thing, and then the bar is dead. And the next thing you know, you see the bartender behind the bar, and he puts his arms up. And the place is getting robbed. And these two people are still kissing, necking.
Oh, I think I saw something about that.
And so I'm not sure if it's one of these deals where see no evil, hey, man, don't worry, I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
like one of those things. So they just kept, or they were so in love, or they were so intoxicated by love, perhaps.
Or maybe they had been drinking all night.
Intoxicated by something else.
Yeah.
But there's a robbery in progress. They just kept making it.
Listening to
maybe they were part of it.
On iFIBER One News Radio.
Distraction.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself repeating silly warnings your parents told you as a kid? Today, it's all about those little untruths told with the best of intentions from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Tuesday, April 19th, the 110th day of the year. Actor James Franco has a birthday, and famed crime fighter Elliot Ness was born in 1903. We've been doing some fun reminiscing about things parents told us as kids that we've since found out weren't exactly true. Here's a few we remember. Drinking coffee will stunt your growth. Touching a toad will give you warts. Don't make a face or it'll freeze that way. And for boys, eating bread crust will put hair on our chest. Of course, science hadn't debunked all those warnings at the time, so we can't say they were outright fibs. There are still a lot of us, after all, who think you should wait an hour after eating before going for a swim. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more fun facts online at almanac.com.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
6:55, iFIBER One News Radio, 7 o'clock, ABC News.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News. Election day in New York. Hillary Clinton has already voted in her town, Chappaqua, New York. Donald Trump expected to cast his ballot on the Upper East Side of Manhattan later today. We'll have the latest coming up.
Those stories are coming up just at the 7 o'clock news. CNBC Business Radio report coming up in 2 minutes or so here as well. You may have noticed gas prices a little bit on the increase.
You can blame higher oil prices recently. In the past week, the Energy Department says the price of regular unleaded rose about 7 cents to $2.14 a gallon. That's still 35 cents below the price a year ago at this time, but some areas are seeing bigger spikes. In Minnesota, the price has jumped 13 cents in the past week, 12 in Colorado, and 8 in New York and Massachusetts. Alex Stone, ABC News.
I think I paid $2.15 the last time I filled up. That sounds about right, $2.15. Gas prices are going up. 6:56 at iFIBER One News Radio. A big piece of memorabilia is on the auction block.
Shirley Temple was just 6 years old when she sang this song that I promise you're about to have a hard time getting out of your head.
On the good ship, lollipop.
6 years later, her father gave her a 9.5 carat fancy deep blue diamond ring that America's little darling would wear throughout her life. Now it's part of Sotheby's magnificent jewels auction, where they expect it'll go for $25 to $35 million.
Too much.
Dad paid about $7,200 back in 1940. One more time.
Lollipop.
Scott Goldberg, ABC News.
I apologize in advance if that song does get stuck in your head today.
So I sort of have a question on that.
Please.
Her dad gives her this awesome diamond ring, but was she paying him?
Well, don't worry.
The receipts
don't
from
worry about that.
Her hard work.
No. What year? 1940?
Yeah.
It was all his money.
$7,200.
It was all his money.
Yeah.
Who cares if she was the one on the screen doing the work?
Yeah, interesting.
She's the kid. That's amazing. $25, $35 million for this 9 carat blue ring. I don't know if I would pay. Oh, man. I've bought memorabilia, I guess, from people before. Autographs.
Not in that amount.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. But you know what? People buy crazy things.
Sure. They buy good chip lollipops.
Exactly.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
CNBC Radio. Stocks are mixed with tech stocks pulling the Nasdaq down. The Dow is up 60 points, Nasdaq's down 8, and the S&P 500's up 5. Crude oil prices 1% higher. Goldman Sachs reporting earnings which beat forecasts, but revenue which didn't and which were 23% below a year ago. The banking sector overall, however, is higher today. Reporting late yesterday, Netflix had subscription growth below forecasts last quarter and projected a conservative outlook for new subscribers in the second quarter. Shares are down about 8%. TD America down 2%. The stock trading company met profit estimates but not revenue. And then there's Harley Davidson. It's up 1%. The motorcycle maker beat forecasts on both earnings and revenue. Housing starts fell nearly 9% last month. Permits for future construction down nearly 8%. I'm Stephanie Shelton, CNBC Radio.
When you've got a specific job to do, you bring in the specialist, the edger, the trimmer, the leaf blower, other tools that end with Good thing there's VP small engine fuel, now just $4.99 at Napa, with no mixing, no measuring, and no mess. $4.99 VP ready-to-use small engine fuel burns cleaner, so all your lawn equipment runs smoother, better, and other adjectives that end with That's Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer expires 4/30/16.
Now, kid, I know you look at me and think, man, that guy knows everything. And you're right, I do. But occasionally even I get stumped. I know, hard to believe. But when I need help, I get it from Grainger. Grainger can solve just about anything, from finding the right products to advice on installation to troubleshooting. Grainger gets me what I need right when I need it. When a guru needs a guru, who does a guru call? Guru calls Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays from 3 to 6 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio, AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. The polls are open in New York, and Hillary Clinton has already cast her ballot. She was greeted with cheers and applause by fellow voters and poll workers. Bernie Sanders is predicting an upset. ABC's Brad Milkey has the story.
Okay, this is a private ballot. There was no doubt about who Hillary Clinton would be voting for, but as she arrived at her Chappaqua, New York polling place with former President Bill Clinton, she wanted to make sure her vote counted. We put it face up either way. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump is expected to cast his ballot in Midtown Manhattan. Meanwhile, their rivals, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, and Bernie Sanders, have all set their sights on more fertile ground. All three will stop in Pennsylvania, which votes a week from today. Brad Milkey, ABC News, New York.
Donald Trump is expected to vote at this hour and is urging fellow New Yorkers to get out and vote for him, too. He's hoping a big win in today's primary will be a giant step toward clinching the nomination. Already, more than a foot of rain has fallen in Houston, where widespread flooding has closed schools for a second day. More rain is in the forecast. The flooding is blamed for at least 5 deaths. Hundreds had to be rescued. ABC's Rob Marciano is in the city.
In some spots in the Houston area, the most rain received in one day on record. Truly a historic event, and many area residents are comparing this to the historic floods of 2001 when Tropical Storm Allison inundated this area, but that was over a 3-day period. This really less than a half a day of rainfall causing almost the same results. A remarkable scene.
Using your chip-equipped credit card is about to get faster. Visa says it's improving its smart chip cards to make a purchase possible in seconds instead of the current lengthy waits at the cash register. Modern Jews are finding new ways to mark Passover with a trip to Disney World or other resorts. And one in South Africa even offers entirely kosher safaris. Passover vacations are a growing trend among increasingly busy families trying to avoid the hassles of heeding religious rules that often require hosting back-to-back long dinners at their homes. This is ABC News.
The whole process of buying a home, it was terrifying. We didn't know if it was even something that we could plausibly do. But having this estimate from Zillow, in which they kind of calculate out what the approximate value of that house maybe should be, it took all that kind of scary risk away. I can't tell you how much happier we are having a place of our own.
Home means something different to everyone. With millions of homes for sale or rent on Zillow, whatever home means to you, Zillow can help you find it.
Hello?
Hey, Mom, listen.
listen to this. You know how I've been complaining about muscle fatigue lately?
Yes, dear. How's that going?
I found this stuff called Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream.
Really?
It started soothing my tired muscles and joints immediately, and it lasted for hours.
What about the smell?
It's actually odor-free.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
The 2016 tax season is over, and a new survey suggests it's not a moment too soon. ABC's Daria Albinger explains.
We're closing the book on the 2016 tax season. A Wallet Hub survey says you probably spent more on your return. You may have paid the government more this year than last, and you ran a greater risk of becoming the victim of a security breach. Spokeswoman Jill Gonzalez.
We've seen a 700% increase in identity theft tax-related cases since 2010, and that's after 88% of those attempts were actually prevented by the IRS.
All told, we gave Uncle Sam just over $1.6 trillion. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Who's that woman on the staircase? A photographer who snapped a picture in the Colorado hotel that was the setting for the movie The Shining wants to know. He says when he took a panoramic photo of the lobby, there was no one in it. And he didn't see the woman in the long black dress standing atop the staircase until he developed the picture the next day. In the meantime, he felt sick. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Freychenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer-processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and we really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have in Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area. Kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
iFIBER ONE News Radio wants to take this time to thank the sponsors of Mariners Baseball who help bring the games to you on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. You can show your appreciation by supporting our local advertisers who bring you Mariners Baseball in the South Sound. When you support our local sponsors, you are supporting our local communities. More Mariner baseball is on the way from iFIBER One News Radio.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done. And your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the M's against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 7, and I'm Carol Gardner, and it's going to be another beautiful day. We're still warm from yesterday's breaking heat records. Yesterday was the hottest April day ever, official high of 89, about 30 degrees warmer than average. We should hit the mid to upper 80s again today, possibly breaking more records. Tomorrow we'll cool down into the low 80s, and right now it's 47.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning to you. 7:10 at iFIBER One News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner, and great forecast, Carol.
Thank you, because I am providing the weather for people.
I know. You go out there in the middle of the night, press a bunch of buttons, and next thing you know, we got a beautiful day. It was record-breaking. With the record-breaking temperatures comes higher levels of allergies for folks, and we'll have those stories for you coming up. We'll talk about the Mariners Monday contest coming up this Monday. Also, some spraying will be happening in the Tacoma area. Today is election day, primary election day in New York City. New York City! So we'll find out who's headed down that road to the White House. Arts Walk is this weekend, and we'll have an ABC update on the manhunt from the brothers from Arlington. Some guests coming on the show today, Carol. We've got some great guests, actually, as we continue on through our National Parks Week here, and Jeff Rabel from Mason County, he's the Facilities, Parks, and Trails Manager, is going to be in and scheduled to be in about a half an hour, along with Carl Olson, Parks Maintenance Lead, talking about the parks in Mason County, what you can do, where they are. We talked with Mark Ziegler yesterday about Shelton Parks, and maybe you got a chance to head out after work or in the middle of the day to one of those new parks and see the beautiful. I'm interested to go to what Mark was talking about, that Overlook Park, which we all know is where they have that big tree and you can look over, beautiful over the city. But he was mentioning that there's a down below part that would have been, I don't know what I'm trying to say. A little down, a little pasture or something down below.
Yeah.
Lots of hidden gems. 7:12 here at iFIBER One News Radio, and that all continues on. Dale Hubbard calling in at 8:15. He's in the home offices and afraid, but he's going to talk with us about the Traveler 5K this weekend. He'll be back in plenty of time for that. And Environmentally Sound today with Seth Elson. All coming up here on iFIBER One News Radio. Check out the new website, iFIBER1newsradio.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
My Mason Health is getting everyone connected to their online medical record. Free online access to your medical records from anywhere in the world is now possible 24/7. Manage your medical appointments, message your providers, review your medical information, see test results, and now available online bill pay. It's so easy to access your secure online health record from your computer or smartphone. Whether you're at home, at work, or on vacation, you can get connected. Just visit masongeneral.com or ask how to join My Mason Health at your next hospital or clinic visit.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider, translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
I feel right at home on JohnLScott.com.
Hi, this is Dawn Pinnell from John L. Scott Real Estate here in Shelton. For a while now, I have been saying welcome home and sharing with you some great listings and some hopefully educational and interesting items of riveting radio real estate topics.
Don Pinnell's Radio Real Estate every other Friday at 8:45 on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
I would love to help you say, I'm home.
If you care about what's going on around here, subscribe to the Shelton Mason County Journal. You will learn something useful about your neighborhood, upcoming events, your community, and coworkers. Laugh at the comics, cry with the obituaries, learn about local concerts, games, and new businesses. Being informed is worth it in so many ways. Subscribe today. Call 360-426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com. Check out the Journal's garage sales, too. Try it. You'll love it.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 1033 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. It's 7:15. I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Blakely. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning.
We're on Daybreak. We're streaming online at iFIBER1newsradio.com. You can find us under the Daybreak tab on our brand new website. You can also hear us on 1030 KMAS and FM 1033. And we're going to have Marilyn Foster with some local news coming up at the half hour. Information on the motorcycle fatality that happened on Sunday evening. Tumwater shift from beer to bud. Talking about the city parks, the ones in Shelton, and a story on wildfire season that's already happening.
This Monday, join us for another Mariners Monday trivia contest here on Daybreak. Listen during Sports Director Sean Wells's sports reports during the newscasts and get the clues you need to answer our question. In between 8:15 and 8:30 again, listen for the Mariners theme music. Be the first person with the right answer. 462-1041 wins tickets to the May 14th game against Los Angeles. That night also, Rude Sports, Kyle Seager, bobblehead night for the first 20,000 fans.
The National Weather Service officials say temperatures reached 89 degrees at the SeaTac Airport yesterday, making it the warmest day ever recorded
right. Warm
in
on the
Seattle.
surface.
Yeah, warm. I don't know. Don't jump in the water, though. It's probably so cold out there.
Yeah.
The record was broke before noon. 81 before noon yesterday. Amazing. And they say we average about 59 degrees. So we're 30 degrees warmer than normal. And other places broke records. Olympia, 88 degrees, and Bellingham, 79 degrees. And if you are somebody that suffers from allergies, the pollen count is high right now. They call it a 10.2 out of a 12. And it is, let's see, I had that just a minute ago, but now I seem to be missing what exactly it is that is the allergies. But it's mulberry, ash, and birch tree. So it's tree leaves allergies.
Oh, yeah.
So if people have those, it's, people suffer. So keep your windows closed in your home and car to avoid letting in the pollen. And if you have an air conditioner, recirculate in your home and vehicle to avoid drawing outside air.
Well, that's a good one.
And the pollen counts are highest between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m., so limit your outside exposure during those times. And when it's warm and dry especially, obviously the rain will hopefully help wash the pollen away. And make sure you wash your clothes, wash your face, wash your hands. Possibly your pets will have pollen on them. So, you come into contact with this pollen, you don't think about it, and then you're wiping your face all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So... And I don't know, some people may actually need to go to a doctor for their allergy issues.
I've thought about going, skipping the over-the-counter solutions and heading right for a medical solution. I haven't gone that far, but I've thought about it in years past. Secretary of State Kim Wyman and Pierce County Auditor Julie Anderson headlined an event Monday in Tacoma celebrating a milestone. Washington recently surpassed 4 million registered voters for the first time in state history. During the ceremony at the Pierce County Annex, Wyman and Anderson introduced the 4 millionth voter, 18-year-old Katerina Gruber of Pierce County. Gruber went to Pierce County elections on her birthday in late March to register to vote in person. Coming up, we'll have our state's presidential primary as well as the general election that features, this is a big year this year, president, governor, other statewide offices, legislative officials, other races.
All your local ones.
What's the word where you fill out the ballots to do the, initiatives and referendums,
yes,
things like that.
Exactly.
April 25th is the deadline for online or mail-in voter registrations or address changes or other registration updates before May's Washington presidential primary. People can learn more about it by going to the Secretary of State's office. 7:20 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. We'll be back with more topics, and in fact, we'll head down that road to the White House. Arts Walk is this weekend. Another update on the brothers missing, and the manhunt continues, and sprays begin.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
During Countdown to Earth Day, Gateway Property Management says you can get involved every day. Ask for and buy recycled, unbleached paper products at home and work. Thank you for counting down to Earth Day with Gateway Property Management.
Our community credit union says the battle for clean air, clean water, and clean land has just begun. For the battle to be won, we all need to get involved. You can help make our world a better place to live by joining the effort to conserve our natural resources. The Countdown to Earth Day is a reminder from our community credit union.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Nonprofits post your events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. Every Tuesday is Senior and Military Discount Day at Nifty Thrifty in downtown Shelton. Members of military and seniors get 15% off every Tuesday. All proceeds go to support the Mason County Senior Activity Center. Nifty Thrifty is at 826 West Railroad Avenue. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
$7:21 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Marilyn Foster's news coming up in about 9 minutes. As we were just talking about, celebrating 4 million registered voters here in the great state of Washington, all casting their ballot this November for a new president.
Road to the White House. New York holding its delegate-rich primary today. Hillary Clinton looking to put things to bed.
I am hoping to do really well tomorrow. I'm hoping to wrap up the Democratic nomination.
Mrs. Clinton in New York City on Monday. Bernie Sanders appeared to be showing the strain of campaigning, attacking Mrs. Clinton during an appearance on Long Island City.
Secretary Clinton has given a number of speeches on Wall Street
for $225 a speech.
He later corrected that to $225,000 per speech. On the Republican side, Donald Trump holds a commanding lead in New York. In Buffalo, he committed his own verbal faux pas when talking about 9/11, the September 11th attacks.
I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center right after it came down, and I saw the greatest people I've ever seen in action.
Less than 7 months till the election. Richard Cantu, ABC News.
Well, when he puts it like that, 7 months,
I know.
it'll fly by, but that just seems like a daunting number. 7 months more of
And
this.
it's just going to ramp up.
Oh, well, what's amazing this year is, what was I watching yesterday? Some show, and they were interviewing Senator Merkley from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about he's the only senator who's endorsed Senator Sanders.
Oh.
So he was on the show, Hardball, I think it was. Anyways, they were talking about the fact that Oregon primary is actually going to mean something. I mean, the delegate count, people are needing these delegates in the Republican Party. Oh, both sides, whatever. But yeah, Oregon's actually going to matter. Washington, the GOP, they're going to be voting soon, and those delegates, it all adds up. So bring in the Northwest into it. It's pretty cool stuff.
It is pretty cool stuff. The one thing that interests me about New York is you have to sign up already to be either a Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
You can't just go into their primary without having to sign up for one of those. So if you're an independent, you don't get a vote for who you want one to be, which is totally...
That's a junk.
It's not right. I mean, we need to go back to the popular vote, obviously.
I mean, why do you even need to have a party preference? Just
that's what I say.
Whoever's the best.
Yeah, and I think it should just be a popular vote. Just every single person, they get on their cell phone an app they download, they push the button, and boom, it's done.
There was a thing on Reddit this morning I saw that because, voting online security concerns.
Right.
But one of the things they said is they showed a person and their brain was all hooked up to a computer, and they showed them 50 images.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the brain MRI lit up in certain areas when they showed the pictures, they were able to use that as a 100% accurate, go with me on this, brain print, like a fingerprint, but a unique signal that the brain puts out that is unique to every person with 100% accuracy.
Yeah, I believe it.
Cool.
Yeah, we're all our own electrical power plant.
It's like the Matrix. 725 Arts Walk this weekend.
It is. Celebrate the arts, experience visual and performing arts in over 100 businesses by hundreds of artists. Special features include hands-on family activities, demonstrations, and impromptu street performances.
There's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that. It's April 22 and 23 this weekend. Art Walk maps are available at some participating downtown businesses, or you can download a mobile app at the olympiawa.gov Arts Walk. Procession of the Species, that awesome parade on Saturday, begins at 4:30, and there is a lot of people that go down there, so they really want you to pay attention to road closures, because there are a lot of road closures downtown Olympia. So, walk, ride, or take the bus. Great options to get to the event.
Yeah, for sure. And the Procession of the Species travels all throughout downtown, so there's plenty of spaces to see the parade once you become a spectator.
Yes.
But getting there can sometimes be a problem. So avoid the downtown if you don't want to be a part of this.
Exactly.
The manhunt continues for two brothers from Arlington.
A manhunt is intensifying in Washington state for two fugitive brothers who police believe murdered a couple who've been missing for a week. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the latest.
Authorities on a desperate search for two brothers suspected of murdering a missing couple. The fugitives, considered armed and dangerous. The married couple, Patrick Shunn and Monique Pattenode, disappeared 4 days later, police finding their two vehicles dumped in the woods 15 miles from their home. Authorities telling ABC News unreleased surveillance video ties the suspects, John and Tony Reed, to the disposing of the victims' vehicles. The four had property disputes, according to police. Family members saying in a statement, the couple had been married only 4 years. Wherever they are together.
This manhunt now entering its 8th day, and police telling us they have no idea where these suspects are, but they do believe they fled in their parents' vehicle. Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
We'll continue to monitor that story, of course, with very major local ties.
Right. And if you saw some low-flying airplanes yesterday over Lacey, Gig Harbor, or Vancouver, they were spraying for gypsy moths. State agriculture officials will spray parts of Tacoma and Seattle today and the rest of the week, and they'll use a biological insecticide to kill Asian and European gypsy moths. The insects devour shrubs and trees and can make forests more vulnerable to other problems. The State Department says the aerial spraying over Tacoma begins today, could take 2 days. They plan to spray 130 acres of Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood on Thursday if weather permits. They say that human health risks from the insecticide is minimal, and it says some native moths and butterflies may be impacted, but those effects are expected to be minor.
How could just some be impacted? That's the other thing I want to know. If it's going to hurt one, I mean, wouldn't it be safe to say it would hurt them all?
Well, yeah, and what's interesting is, I don't know. I mean, moths, I think, would be similar makeup to native moths and butterflies. So I don't know how they separate those out.
We are learning a lot about, what is that called? Entomology, the study of insects. As with the Zika virus going crazy town, we're learning about the different versions of mosquitoes that are out there, too.
Who knew that there's just one in you? Self-defense. When you get a mosquito.
Just one. Environmental officials are set to clean up a Washington stream after it spent decades as a U.S. Navy dumping ground. The Kitsap Sun reports that the stretch of Gorst Creek, filled with rusty car parts, paint cans, batteries, and plastic sheeting, the U.S. EPA last began preparing for the removal of about 8,000 truckloads of trash from that 6-acre site. Project is estimated to take about a year, cost about $30 million. The sum the Navy recently agreed to pay after years of legal wrangling. The Navy is deferring comment about this landfill to the EPA. Legal documents filed by the EPA indicate that the Navy has acknowledged dumping the waste, but disputes the agency's claim that the trash is contaminating the creek. 7:30 here now at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and coming up, we continue our conversation about National Parks Week. Mark Ziegler will be on in the newscast with Mary Lynn Foster, and then we'll talk about the parks in Mason County. There's a lot of them out there, beautiful parks as well. Tell you where they are coming up on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Freychenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer-processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or a half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and we really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even on the in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have a Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area. Kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1Newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. Best deals, best price, best trade, and low payments. Truck Month continues at family-owned Gillis Auto Center. With our entire truck inventory discounted for this event. Dodge Ram, built Ram tough with huge rebates and a great selection. Get 0% interest OAC or up to an $8,000 rebate on the Dodge Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Just go to Gillis. The all-new Gillis Auto Center in Shelton. City Center Matlock exit and 24/7 at GillisAutoCenter.com.
Join Alex Jones weeknights from 6 to 10 on iFIBER One News Radio.
I know of what I speak, and you can't go to somebody's YouTube channel and say they showed a news article from the BBC and then say that you can't show that because someone in Pakistan was holding up a photo of your son who reportedly died at Sandy Hook, and they're saying that the same person died in a terror attack in Pakistan. Obviously, we've got to investigate this, just like we investigated Brian Williams and his claims.
Oh, Curry, no worry for the Warriors. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports. Despite missing injured star Steph Curry, Golden State stayed the course in Game 2.
Livingston to the rim off the glass. It's good! Golden State with their largest lead of the game. Timeout Rockets. And Oracle is a madhouse yet again.
Tim Roy on KNBR. The Rockets hung with him most of the night, but the Warriors' depth helped them pull away in the fourth and win 115-106, taking a 2-0 series lead. In Oklahoma City, the visiting Mavericks narrowly escaped with a win.
Westbrook on the left side, around Anderson, met by Dirk at Durant, put it up, no good, rebound, no good, rebound, Adams put it in, they're going to count it, and Oklahoma City, for the moment, has won the game.
I don't think it's good.
I don't think it's good either.
I don't think it got off the top.
On KESN, they were right. The buzzer beater was waved off, and the Mavs win 85-84. The series now stands at 1 game apiece. To the north, where the Toronto Raptors have themselves their first playoff win since 2014. Jonas Valanciunas had 23 points and 15 rebounds as the Raptors contain the Pacers and even the series at 1-1. Stanley Cup playoff action Monday night, headlined by some late-night heroics.
Left side, Pearson shoots, he scores! Tanner Pearson, overtime game-winning goal. The Kings win it 2-1.
Nick Nixon on KABC 790 as the Kings outlast the Sharks and go up 2-1 of the first-round series. On the East Coast, the Capitals are making it look easy.
I have for Ovechkin a shot, he scores! Ovechkin on a steal, gets to the right circle.
John Walton on the Capitals radio network. Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals helped Washington cruise past Philadelphia 6-1. The Capitals are 1 win away from eliminating the Flyers from the playoffs. And in Minnesota, Jason Pominville had an assist to go along with 2 goals as the Wild savage a game and cut the Stars' lead to 2-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the Yims against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pregame is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning at 7:40, and I'm Carol Gardner. It's another beautiful day today. Still warm from yesterday's breaking heat records. Yesterday was the hottest April day ever. Official high of 89. Ever in this area.
Ever.
We should hit the mid to upper 80s again today, possibly breaking more records. Sunny tomorrow, but cooling off into the low 80s. And right now it's 49.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you, 7:38, and yeah, beautiful day yesterday. And continuing on throughout the day today, it is just about 7:40 at iFIBER One News Radio. We start great conversations with community folks around these parts in a couple of moments. We'll talk about county parks. It's National Park Week. Had a great chat with Mark Ziegler yesterday from City Parks here in Shelton, and we found out that there's a lot of great amenities and parks available for folks to just walk around, go see, and some of them have things to do. Some of them are just open space.
Yeah, there's about 12 to 13 parks in the city limits.
And what we didn't talk about yesterday, we didn't get to, is that the addition to Neyland Park, that off-leash dog park. That's a pretty cool thing. So we're going to talk about the county parks, though, in just a couple of moments. Also, we will continue to look through stories on the Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way improvement that's coming up, this warm weather. It is the warmest day ever yesterday. It does include that more allergies for folks, and the warm weather trends continue on. Mariners are playing today. We'll tell you about that, and when you connect, win tickets, and also another update on the tragic story about the human remains. The Seattle Recycling Center are where they found some more remains believed to be connected to a woman who was slain and dismembered a couple weeks ago. Also, ABC News talks with us about the missing Arlington brothers. And the governor signs the supplemental budget. All those stories are coming up here on iFIBER One News Radio in a couple of moments here. Also see what ABC has to say. Tech Tuesday, paralysis and brain implants will be the topic coming up.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
You know, there's nothing like the look and feel of a real newspaper. Award-winning writers and design, voted one of the best newspapers in Washington, the Mason County Journal has the news, opinion, and information you want. Full of colorful photos and great-looking ads, share it with family and friends. No electricity required. Look for us at over 80 locations throughout the county or visit masoncounty.com. The Mason County Journal, a big part of this wonderful place we call home.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
Is your business targeting the state's largest payroll? Military personnel at JBLM and Naval Base Kitsap surpass all others, and Swarner Communications gives your businesses direct reach into those markets with newspaper advertising, face-to-face events, email blasts, mobile marketing, reputation management, and more, all for one affordable price. Call Swarner Communications today, 253-584-1212.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE Newsradio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 7:45 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning. Jeff and Carol here during Daybreak, and we're talking to Jeff Vrabel this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thanks for coming in. You are the Facilities, Parks, and Trails Manager for Mason County, and it's Parks Week, National Parks Week. Yesterday, we talked about the parks in the city of Shelton, just kind of where they are, what kind of amenities, that people may not know. There was 13 parks in the city. The county has about 20 or so.
Technically about 22.
22. Even more than what we're looking at on this brochure. So we're just going to talk about some of the different parks, some of the hidden gems, some of what's most popular to the different types of folks who may be using those parks. How long have you been with the county?
With the county for 9 months now.
Okay, wonderful. So new guy, you're the guy who gets the short straw coming on this radio this morning.
Yeah, and I invited others, and I'm sure they're out there listening.
Give a shout out to Carl, who was supposed to fill that seat.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah. Thanks, bud, for leaving me hanging.
That's okay. We're having a good time here.
It's all good.
We're looking at this. I'm looking at this PDF file. We'll link to it on our website as well, of just the variety of parks here. So let's talk about a popular park in the county for the sportsman. What would be a good park for someone who likes sporting type activities?
Well, sporting as far as athletics, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Let's
talk baseball.
Sure, why not? It's baseball season.
MCRA. That's the Mason County recreational area. At MCRA, we've got batting cages, 2 baseball, 2 softball. We've got 7 ball fields. We're booked solid through the baseball season. If we could put lights in, we'd have baseball all night.
Wow.
It's that popular. I don't know if the kids could stay up that late.
Right.
But MCRA is a great spot for watching baseball games, picnicking. You've got a restroom facility. You've got a play toy. So if the little ones aren't interested in watching the siblings play baseball, they can go play on the toy in the middle of the park. And that's also where our main office is. So.
It's quite, the MCRA's got to be one of the big jewels of Mason County. Just they bring so many folks in to play all these tournaments and things like that.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the projects that we're actually going to start this year is we're going to be renovating fields 6 and 7. I don't know if you're familiar with fields 2 and 3 have synthetic infields. This year, we're going to be breaking ground on making fields 6 and 7 synthetic infields, which will reduce the rainouts and things like that. So even more play available.
And so when you do that kind of stuff, that extends the shoulders of the season. Is that what people refer to it as? Just more times in wetter times.
Yeah, because you can get out on a synthetic field where you can't in a just a marginal rainy situation. Synthetic fields, you can still get out there and the kids can practice and on the edges of the season. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really nice. What if I were less into baseball, softball, and more into open space or trails or hiking or walking?
Well, you've got some options there in Mason County. We've got just undeveloped open space that you're welcome to go take a walk on. Hopefully don't get lost. We've got areas as big as 500 acres out near Decker Creek. That's a big parcel. There's nothing's developed out there. It's conservation and it's open space. We've got more, I would say, defined hiking experiences. Truman Glick, which is just a little gem. I may mention that a couple times only because it's very popular for very different reasons. It's got some short trails through the woods and very scenic. We've got Oakland Bay Park, which is some people call it historic Oakland Bay Park. It's the Mulaney homestead property. This is out on Agate Road. Beautiful trails through the Oakland Bay Park, down to the old homestead and access down to the waterfront. But
well, since you bring up Oakland Park, I have one question about that. I saw on the website it says that dogs are not allowed at Oakland Bay County Park. Why is that?
Well, Oakland Bay Park is a conservation. There's a conservation easement on Oakland Bay Park. We partnered with Capital Land Trust, and as part of the cooperative acquisition of that property, one of the things that was determined at the time was to set aside that area for wildlife, so that, and when you introduce dogs, whether they're marking their territory or defecating on the property or harassing wildlife, that's the main reason there.
That makes sense.
It just keeps the wildlife, and we do have wildlife out there. We've had set some game cameras and seen different animals that we wouldn't have expected out there.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it's working. But anytime you introduce dogs, they tend to mark up the place or scares off the...
Are you able to go inside the buildings that are out there, or
at Oakland Bay? Yeah. No, you're not allowed to go in the building. It has been boarded off. It actually, as of right now, we don't have any plans for it, but we do want to preserve it. If we do any renovations or fixing it up, it would have to be moved out of the wetland buffer, because currently it sits too close or within the wetland buffer. But as of right now, no, there's no access to the building.
It's a pretty good sized park, over 81 acres.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's just beautiful. You get out there, you park up top, and then you take your walk down. So there's a couple trail options, and you just feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's just right down the road.
Yeah, it's just right there. So other than Oakland Bay County Park, can you bring dogs to other parks?
Yes, you can. There's the only two parks that we don't have allow dogs. One is MCRA, which is where the baseball fields are. I don't know about Mason County, but a lot of times we've found problems with people will bring their dog down to a baseball field because it's fenced. They can let their dog run around and not have to go chase it out into the woods. Well, if you're a parent or even the kid playing baseball and you step in something, that could be a problem. So there's that. Plus, it's a very popular public area, and we just don't allow dogs there.
Okay, no, that makes total sense. What about water access? Lots of water butting against Mason County. What's the best park to get some good water access or get some good vistas of water?
Well, I guess it's whether you want saltwater or freshwater.
Oh, well, give me both.
Well, let's start with saltwater. We can access saltwater on county properties at 2 locations, one on the Hood Canal, which is at Union. We have the Union Boat Launch, which technically is a street end. People often ask, well, why wasn't it developed differently or whatever? Well, it's basically the end of a street that was then turned into a boat ramp. There's limited parking and tidal conditions. You would want to definitely make sure you hit it on a bit higher tide, depending on the size of your boat.
Oh.
The other is Latimer's Landing over by the Hood Canal Bridge. Recently renovated, new dock facilities in, I think, 2012. The ramp is there. It's good saltwater access to the sound. So those are the 2 saltwater, unless I'm forgetting one. Then moving to freshwater, county-owned properties, you've got a boat launch at Phillips Lake, which is a shared property with the state of Washington. So if you get onto that property, right down the middle of it is the boundary line. To the right, if looking at the lake, to the right is county property, and to the left is state.
Oh, huh.
Nobody cares.
If you cross over, you're okay.
You're okay. You're fine. So that's Phillips Lake. Mason Lake. There's a county park at the end of Mason Lake. That would be on the east end of Mason Lake, where there's a boat launch, a restroom facility, a little picnic area, and plenty of parking for trucks and trailers. So we have. I forgot one on the saltwater side. Let me back up real quick. Kayak launch over at Menards Landing. Menards is over in Tahuya. It's all right around the Great Bend of the Hood Canal. If you were at the Cushman hydro plant, looking straight across, you'd be looking at Menards Landing.
Oh.
It's a little cove. There is a hand launch kayak area there. So that is all the saltwater ones.
Nice, very nice.
Back to freshwater, we also on the north end, or on the Tahuya side, we have Jiggs Lake. It's a self-propelled or no motorized boats, but you can hand launch there as well. And these are like little hidden gems.
Yeah.
You should call the Parks Department, and we'll tell you how to get there, because a lot of them, you don't see the sign until you've passed the sign. And let me see, freshwater. See it now. If Bud was here, he could fill in this gap right here.
Well, that's fine. Let's go. We're running a little close on time, so let's go back to Truman Glick, because I know when I drive out to Matlock, you see the signs for it, and it is a beautiful park, 35 acres or so, and it's got a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yes.
Looks like you can go over Decker Creek. You can even get the shelters and stuff. So talk to me a little bit about Truman Glick Park. What am I missing on this? It looks like it's a good place you can rent. Can you rent out the facilities there? Okay.
Yes. Truman Glick is very popular for weddings, outdoor weddings. It books up pretty solid through the summer months. You can rent the picnic shelter. It's actually quite large for large gatherings. Again, in that same area, you have the play toy for the kids. So if you're having a wedding, you could have the kids actually go play on the toy. Big open grassy area for setting up other stuff. Trails that meander through the woods there. A bridge over the... I think it
was Decker Creek.
Decker Creek, right there. Yeah. If you get back in there, if you're a wildlife person, you could probably. I know at least last year there was a beaver dam and some activity going on back there with the beavers, and you can go back and see if you spot that going on.
Wow. So there is a so you say 22, 23 parks in the county system?
Yep, 22 properties, and some of them not developed. just to mention a couple of things real quick,
Sure.
Up on the north end, we've got in the Belfair area, Allen Belfair. Another project we have going on this year is we're going to renovate 2 Little League fields, fields 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We have grant funding for both of those. And then we're also purchasing or I should say we're in negotiations to purchase a piece of property at the north end of the North Bay, next to right outside of Allen, where it's called Coulter Creek. Sorry.
That's okay.
But it will add to the property the county already owns out of Coulter Creek, and that would be another water access area.
So there's plenty.
So there's so much to talk about. We should probably schedule another time where we can actually just start picking out different segments of the system that we have. But anybody that has questions, feel free to call the parks office or check the website. That's something we're going to be working on, is updating the website so that people can just click and go.
We'll post the links to all of these county parks on our pages as well. We've been talking with Jeff Rabel this morning, and thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, no problem.
Facilities, Parks, and Trails Manager for Mason County. National Parks Week this week, so get out and enjoy. It's going to be another beautiful day.
Record-breaking day.
Whoa, that must be nice. Well, I better go check on some parks today.
Yeah, I might have to do that a little later today.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It is 7:58 right now. We'll take a quick break here from the Old Farmer and come back getting ready to head towards 8 o'clock here on iFIBER One News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Do you find yourself repeating silly warnings your parents told you as a kid? Today, it's all about those little untruths told with the best of intentions from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Tuesday, April 19th, the 110th day of the year. Actor James Franco has a birthday, and famed crime fighter Elliot Ness was born in 1903. We've been doing some fun reminiscing about things parents told us as kids that we've since found out weren't exactly true. Here's a few we remember. Drinking coffee will stunt your growth. Touching a toad will give you warts. Don't make a face or it'll freeze that way. And for boys, eating bread crust will put hair on our chest. Of course, science hadn't debunked all those warnings at the time, so we can't say they were outright fibs. There are still a lot of us, after all, who think you should wait an hour after eating before going for a swim. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more fun facts online at almanac.com.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. It's the only poll that really counts. The polls are open for the New York primary that could change the direction of the presidential race. Donald Trump voted in Manhattan, where he called it an easy decision.
But I'm really honored, and putting in that vote today was really something terrific.
Hillary Clinton is hoping to virtually secure the nomination with a win. Bernie Sanders predicts an upset. President Obama is heading overseas today. More from ABC's Kenneth Moten.
There is more rain on the way. We have flood warnings that remain up because of the high water, and flood watches that are still posted because we got a couple of more rounds of rain that will come through Texas as this very slow-moving system just really refuses to budge.
That was ABC's Rob Marciano in the flood zone. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moten.
President Obama is scheduled to arrive in Saudi Arabia Wednesday, where he will meet with King Salman and attend a summit hosted by Persian Gulf leaders. The president will lunch with the Queen of England later in the week. He'll meet with UK Prime Minister David Cameron, who's campaigning for his country to stay in the European Union. And the president plans to join German Chancellor Angela Merkel to open the world's largest trade show for industrial technology. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
The price of a road trip is throttling up. ABC's Alex Stone has the reasons driving the prices.
LaRoche. You can blame higher oil prices recently. In the past week, the Energy Department says the price of regular unleaded rose about 7 cents to $2.14 a gallon. That's still 35 cents below the price a year ago at this time, but some areas are seeing bigger spikes. In Minnesota, the price has jumped 13 cents in the past week, 12 in Colorado, and 8 in New York and Massachusetts. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The worst seat on the airplane is getting harder and harder to avoid. Airlines trying to pry more profits out of passengers are increasingly trying to put people in the middle seat, so they'll pay a higher price to get out of it. Delta allows you to pick seats only after check-in and encouraging higher-paying customers to buy the better seats. This is ABC News.
These days, we barely give lunch the time of day. We bag it, rush it, skip it, and leave it to fend for itself in the fridge. What used to be a break is but a blip on the radar. Well, it's time to take lunch back. At TGI Fridays, get one of our new fast, fresh pairings, like a strawberry field salad with chicken and a bowl of turkey kale soup for just $6.99. And with quick mobile pay, settle up whenever you want, which means you'll have time for a refreshing triple berry smoothie. Make lunch count. Only at TGI Fridays. At participating restaurants, available Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to come in and speak with someone?
Negative, Control. With Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, you can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online.
Copy that, QL1, but if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there?
They're out there, all right. Their award-winning client service is beyond anything I've ever experienced.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Baseball player Adam LaRoche is revealing more details about why he walked away from a $13 million contract after being told to reduce his son's time in the clubhouse. ABC's TJ Holmes has details.
LaRoche says the dispute over his son wasn't the only reason for his retirement. He spent 10 days undercover in the red light districts of Southeast Asia last year, working with a nonprofit organization to help victims of sex trafficking. He's been haunted by what he saw.
Having 2 kids of my own, especially a 12-year-old daughter, it's impossible not to picture, man, what if this was my daughter?
LaRoche says he wants to continue that work in the future. For now, he's enjoying some time with his family, at peace with the decision to quit baseball.
One of the warnings opponents of legal marijuana had before it was legalized in Colorado has not come to pass. Young kids in the states in that state are not smoking more pot since the law took effect. The state issued a report which also found that tax collections and calls to poison control centers are up. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Freychenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and we really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have in Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
This Monday, you've got a chance to win tickets to the Mariners during Daybreak. Get clues during the Monday Morning Sports Report, and between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music, and you could be a winner. First caller with the right answer to 360-462-1041 wins a pair of tickets to the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Only one winner per household per season. For complete rules, check iFIBER1newsradio.com. It's Mariners Monday on Daybreak.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things. Dew, juice, and caffeine rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
Roger that.
Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart, now in 4 energizing new flavors like Midnight Grape. It all starts with a kick.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the Yams against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pre-game is live on iFIBER One News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 10 after 8. I'm Carol Gardner, and it's another beautiful day today. Still warm from yesterday's breaking heat records. It's already 55 out. Yesterday was the hottest April day ever, official high of 89, and we should hit the mid to upper 80s again today, possibly breaking more records. It's going to be sunny tomorrow also, but cooling off into the low 80s. Right now, 55.
So you're saying that it's 55 right now?
Yeah.
And the normal temperature for today would be what? 59?
59, 60, yeah. Yeah.
And it's already at 8 o'clock in the morning, 55. Holy
Awesome.
moly.
It's awesome if you like hot weather.
Who doesn't?
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio
Not me.
Studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Yeah, good morning to you. It is Daybreak at iFIBER One News Radio, 8:11. Coming up, we've got a call in for the old Deej. DJ Dale is going to talk with us about this weekend's big events, included with that, the Traveler 5K. It's going to be a fun run, walk around the Alderbrook Golf Course area. 5Ks are 3.1 miles, and there is going to be, some 200 folks or so participating in this event. It's going to be a lot of fun, and then there's going to be other things, about 35 vendors there, learning about all sorts of stuff. Junebug Yoga is going to be there. Yesterday's Mariners Monday trivia winner, the Colonel himself, Kern, will be there with his food truck, offering up some good eats. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk with Dale in just a little bit about that. Also, we'll give you more information on the next Mariners Monday contest. Gas prices are going up, and we just passed the 4 millionth registered voter here in the great state of Washington. Today is the primary for New York. So Bernie and Hillary have been getting into it pretty good, back and forth. And it doesn't seem as, Cruz, when he was in Iowa, was making references to New York values and stuff like that. Well, hate to break it to people, but in this day and age, when you say something, regardless of where, that information gets to other parts of the world.
Instantaneously.
Literally. So when he made those comments, New Yorkers said, well, excuse me, what was that?
Yeah.
So there hasn't been as much of a fight for New York. Still looking at Kasich, though, a little, and seeing to play a little spoiler role as that's all coming up. We'll head down that road to the White House for ABC coming up in a little bit before the rest of the morning with Dale on the way. And then at 8:45, Seth Elson from the Pacific Northwest Salmon Center will be here. We'll talk with him. Always nice to catch up with Seth and all the things that are happening there. Gypsy moth spraying begins in Tacoma today for the next couple of days. And Arts Walk this weekend.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
The ocean waves roll in, hypnotic, continuous, and perched high above rests the oldest family-owned resort on Washington's coast, Ocean Crest Resort. Picturesque, friendly, comfortable. Ocean Crest has served as the perfect ocean hideaway for over 60 years. With unsurpassed ocean views, warm fireplaces, full kitchens, swimming pool, hot tub, and spa. Ocean Crest Resort offers you total and unrivaled relaxation. Frommer's Guide reports you simply won't find a more spectacular setting anywhere on the Washington coast. And Ocean Crest's enchanting restaurant is listed as one of Washington's 13 ultimate restaurants you must visit before you die. See for yourself with our special 3-for-2 package. For a limited time, stay 2 nights and get a 3rd night free. Call 800-684-8439, 800-684-8439, or visit oceancrestresort.com. Ocean Crest Resort, making memories since 1953. In Mo Clips, overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
For your next gourmet meal, you don't need classical training. All you need is a preheated oven and a comfy spot on the couch. Home-baked Papa Murphy's Chicken Bacon Artichoke Gourmet Delight, topped with fresh spinach, grilled chicken, artichoke hearts, and bacon. Or try the Vegetarian Gourmet Delight, topped with creamy garlic sauce and your favorite fresh vegetables on a crispy thin crust. Just $11 for a large. Order online at papamurphys.com. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
This is Kathy. The best way to keep current on local news and issues is by subscribing to the Mason County Journal. The importance of subscribing to the paper hit home when the marijuana businesses started cropping up in local neighborhoods and people called the paper saying they hadn't heard about the zoning changes. I had to inform the callers that this issue had been discussed in the paper for many months, and the best way to know what was happening in their community was to read the local newspaper. As a result, many of them started up a subscription. Call 426-4412 or visit masoncounty.com to start your subscription today.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Good morning. It's 8:15, iFIBER One News Radio. Big doings this weekend. It's going to be nice weather, and one of the big events that's happening is an inaugural event. It's a kickoff event from Hood Canal Events. Dale's on the line from the home offices and Freda. Good morning, Dale.
Hey, Jeff, Carol, how are you kids doing?
Great.
Great. What's the temperature like over there?
Oh, we're freezing over here. It was like only 78 degrees yesterday, and then it got up to about 86 right at the peak about 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Moses Lake. Not quite as warm in Ephrata, but 83, I think, was the top out here.
We were warmer than you.
We topped out at 89 yesterday.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm sorry I missed it.
Well, it was a nice day, going to be another good one, but I know they have plenty of sunny days over there on that side of the mountain.
That is a true story. I haven't seen rain since I left. So.
You're going to be being the MC and Master of Ceremonies for the Traveler 5K, which is upcoming this weekend. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, it's the inaugural event, and very exciting. I'm so happy for Jeff and Carrie from Hood Canal Events. This is their first ever, and they've got about 170 people signed up to participate. And so they're very excited. They hit their goal that they wanted, and for the first time out, they're nervous. That's why I'm just calling in, because they got this week to plan this thing, and they got one shot at it. So, So they're pretty preoccupied about all that. We do have a chance for vendors and some of the people that are kind of the backbone of this getting this organized on Friday. We'll be gathering a little bit in the evening, and then Saturday morning early, people can set up and show up there around 9:30, 10 o'clock or something like that, and get ready to go. And I'll be leading everybody in stretching exercises and loosening up and getting you ready to go take on the 5K.
You are?
I'm going to get everybody ready to go on the 5K.
No,
I'm not 5K'ing myself.
No, I thought you just said that you're going to be leading people in the stretching.
Yes.
You personally.
Yes. Yeah.
Jack LaLanne.
Kind of a Jack LaLanne effect to it. And nobody will be paying attention anyway, so it'll be okay. And then I'm going to march the participants. We got to go about a quarter of a mile down to where Alderbrook Fine Homes is located. That's going to be the start line, and then it'll be exactly 5K. And what you said, it was 3.1 miles or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And it'll end up right on what is called now the Point, which is right across from the Alderbrook Golf Clubhouse. Out there, beautiful vistas of the mountain and the water and everything. So very, very picturesque setting. And then at that juncture, there'll be lots of vendors that you mentioned a little while ago. And there'll be a beer and wine garden, a lot of good food for everybody. Live music will be playing, and just a good kickback till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And then we'll just patch it all up and get ready for the next event that they've got scheduled. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't even have to participate if you'd like to come out around noon or so and just enjoy the music and maybe a beverage and congratulate the folks who did participate. That's fine too. It's going to be a big party out at the Point, and everybody's invited.
So that is this coming Saturday. People can still show up and get ready to go, and it's going to be a nice little walk there. The weather will hold there for the morning, and then the Traveler. Right there at the Point where right across the way from the golf course. That is a beautiful place to see the Traveler. And you made mention that the Traveler is there, but maybe already starting to fade a little.
Well, yeah, you keep getting these 90-degree weather days. You're going to melt that snow right off that mountain, and it'll be a race to Saturday to make sure the Traveler's there to watch over the festivities. I think he's okay. I think he's safe for another 4 or 5 days. So I think we're all right.
This is all put on by Hood Canal Events, and you can check out their website, hoodcanalevents.com. They are doing a lot throughout the summer that you can get involved with. And what's really cool is that if you've got friends and relatives coming into town and you want to show them a good time, but you're kind of having a little bit of a brain freeze on, let's focus on just one, they'll do this for you and set it up.
Oh, absolutely. Total packages. From just casual little trips to kayaking to, bar hopping. I mean, they've got a real gamut. If you want to plan a wedding out on the canal, they can do the whole thing too. So, I mean, they run the whole gamut of events and adventures, and that's their business now. And so Hood Canal Events is it, and hoodcanalevents.com. You can go online and check them out. And this is really, I'm really happy and proud of the support that everybody showed them in getting this particular event launched this coming Saturday. We're looking forward to a real fun day that day, and you're going to be across town to the aforementioned Mason County Athletic there, the MC recreation area.
Yeah,
Mason
it's
County recreation area.
All day youth baseball, and so we'll be doing the PA for that, and it's always a lot of fun. You know, I've been doing it for St. Martin's recently. And, it's been really cool to announce the ball players, and I can only imagine, I mean, these are college guys, but it'll be so cool to announce the kids.
Yes,
for
they love it.
For them to come up.
They love it, yeah.
Batting. 8:21 here, Dale. Can you hold on the line for a minute? I got another topic about the other side of the mountain that I want to ask you some questions
Sure,
about. Okay?
sure, I'll hang on.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk with Dale about a recent proposition to increase the speed limits over there. See what the people are thinking about that on the other side of the mountains right after this break.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here, iFIBER One News Radio, 8:24 now, and still on the line with old Deej, who's in Ephrata there. It's so cold over there.
Oh, brr.
We have been having beautiful days here. It's always nice on the other side of the mountains. The other big thing about the other side of Washington is open roadways.
Oh, my gosh.
And last week, they were talking about maybe raising the speed limit to 75 just after the Gorge Bridge, I'm guessing, and up to the Spokane County line. What are you hearing from the people over there? Is that a good idea? Should all of them be raised even higher? Or what's going on with the speed? People don't drive the speed limit on those roads.
They really don't. You know, the reality is that most people are traveling 75 already anyway.
Yeah.
So what it'll do is if they raise it to 75, then now everybody's going to be cruising around 80 to 85 miles an hour. But, you know, the road is so straight and just runs on and on and on, and there's no secrets there. And there's, other than the occasional wildlife that comes across the freeway, there's really no compelling reason to not go ahead and raise the speed limit. I think it'll be fine. I think everybody here is kind of nonplussed about it. They're kind of like, well, what's taking them so long?
Yeah.
You know, kind of an attitude. So it's, the freeway is just totally different. It's just a whole total different culture here. It's like you say, it's wide open. It's farmland as far as you can see, and you're just driving along, and it's relaxing, and you look at your speedometer and you go, holy cow, I'm doing 77 miles an hour.
Sure.
You don't even know it, so I think it'll be fine. I think they'll probably pass that, and I don't think there's anybody's concerned about that. There's not really there's no impending more danger involved in bumping it up another 5 miles an hour.
Around here, there's so many additional cars, and then we always have more rain than over the mountains. So I can see here that this would be 70 could be the limit. But yeah, it is. You can see from Vantage to the Spokane County line, basically. On that. Is that straight?
Yeah. That's not inaccurate. I mean, it's just rambles on and on and on. There's no sharp turns. There's no towns, no city limits to go through. You're just out there in the open range just going. And so I don't see any real reason not to go ahead and raise. In a lot of states, they've got that high 75-mile-an-hour speed limit in Montana and certain long stretches out there.
Yeah.
That's kind of basically along the same lines of that.
Sure.
And I'm sure it should probably pass, so probably won't.
All right. Well, then drive back over here the speed limit, and we'll see you tomorrow or the next day.
Okay, very good, kids. You guys take care, and hi, everybody. Nice to be watching you guys on YouTube this morning.
Nice to be seen on YouTube this morning. All right, we'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
8:26 now, iFIBER One News Radio and the new website at iFiber1newsradio.com, where you can get those links to watch the Daybreak page live on YouTube. The morning stock numbers coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's 8:27 right now. Carol is continuing to check on the weather. 97.7, the official high temp in Shelton yesterday. Holy moly.
What? 97.7. Yeah, that's what it says.
That is a warm day. That has got to be wrong, doesn't it?
I mean, there was nothing about any type of a record.
It's got to be 87.7. That's got to be a mark error there. It was really nice. Another, though, 85-degree day today and 80 into the rest of the week. It's Arts Walk this weekend. We have an interview with Seth Elson coming up at 8:45, but throughout the last half an hour here on Daybreak, we'll kind of start talking about some of the funner things. It was nice talking to Jeff Vrabel from Mason County about the parks.
There's tons of parks.
To get out to some of these things. Take some beautiful vista shots.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. Interested in finding some of those hidden gems around these. Jeff was leaving, he says, there's people. They don't want us to advertise these parks because they're their own hidden gems. Hey, share the wealth, right? Good morning, Edward Jones.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Karen's office on State Route 3, still accepting dog and cat food donations?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Very good.
Yes, we'd love to have some more. Can never have enough.
No, for sure.
Never.
Ooh, how's Wall Street this morning?
Well, U.S. stocks are mixed in early trading as investors continue to react to mixed earnings reports. In earning news, Netflix reported earnings ahead of expectations but provided disappointing forward guidance. Johnson & Johnson provided strong quarterly results in line with expectations and increased full-year guidance. In economic news, new home building in the U.S. slowed in March to its lowest level since October, falling 8.8% from February. Bond prices are mostly lower this morning. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best-performing sector is energy, while the worst-performing sector is technology. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 77 points at 18,081. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 7 points at 2,101. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 5 points at 4,954. This morning volume on the New York Stock Exchange is high, with about 265 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 3-to-1 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $21.71 to $1,254.20. The spot price of silver is up 73 cents to $16.96, and crude oil prices are up $1.45 to $41.23. And the bond market's 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.61%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.8%. Stocks of local interest, Amazon is down $5.50. Costco is down 5 cents. Boeing is up $1.09. Starbucks is up 15 cents. And Microsoft is down 17 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton. And if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590. And daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right, Karen, have a great day.
Have a good day, everyone.
8:30 now at iFIBER One News Radio. The latest in local news brought to you this time by Fred Holmes Tree Service.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Marilyn Foster. A Gig Harbor man died in a motorcycle crash Sunday night about 2 miles east of Allen. The Washington State Patrol reports that Jason Lee Freychenoud, 36, died when his westbound motorcycle failed to negotiate a curve and left State Route 302 to the right. The State Patrol is investigating the crash. Tumwater, once known for beer, is starting to be known for marijuana. According to data from the State Liquor and Cannabis Board and Tumwater, the city has the right combination of available warehouse space, industrial parks, and location requirements, and finds itself home to a cluster of marijuana growers and processors. City officials say Tumwater is thought to be home to one of the largest indoor producer-processors in the state, Northwest Cannabis Solutions. While Tumwater didn't get much from the state after the first round of disbursements for pot enforcement, the city will get a boost in revenue from utility bills. Since producers and processors use a lot of electricity, Tumwater's finance director says the city expects to collect an additional $60,000 in utility taxes per year. It's National Parks Week, and Mark Ziegler from the Shelton Parks and Recreation stopped by Daybreak to talk about our area parks.
We're working on our park plan right now. So every 6 years, we have a comprehensive parks plan that determines what direction to go and where to add parks. The existing park plan has a standard that recommends a neighborhood park within a half-mile walking distance or half-mile radius of every resident in the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intensive, and it really would add more facilities, especially as you look at the map on the south side of town, and even in Mountain View on the east side of Olympic Highway. Part of the criteria that we look at in the park plan is what physical obstacles might deter people from accessing those parks.
Oh, sure.
Lack of sidewalks, because those are places that you won't necessarily have a Neyland Park, a big picnic shelter, a big playground, but you have some smaller play equipment, some open area. Kids can run around, play a game of baseball or football or something like that, and then just some picnic areas and enjoy the facility.
Learn more about the variety of parks and amenities we have in the city limits in the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. The wildfire season officially has begun in Washington. State Department of Natural Resources officials say there have already been more than 25 forest fires reported this year on lands protected by the Department of Natural Resources. That's despite a wetter than usual winter in Washington. Last year's wildfire season was the worst in recent history, with more than 1 million acres burned and 307 homes destroyed. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
At Mason PUD3, we know that time changes all things, like phone numbers, mailing addresses, and email addresses, even names. PUD3 needs your correct account information for emergency contacts and online security. To make this fun, all PUD3 customers who update or confirm their account information by April 27th will have their names placed into a drawing for a free iPad mini. Go to masonpud3.org/account to learn more.
This Monday, you've got a chance to win tickets to the Mariners during Daybreak. Get clues during the Monday Morning Sports Report, and between 8:15 and 8:30, listen for the Mariners theme music, and you could be a winner. First caller with the right answer to 360-462-1041 wins a pair of tickets to the May 14th game against the Los Angeles Angels. Only one winner per household per season. For complete rules, check iFIBER1newsradio.com. It's Mariners Monday on Daybreak.
No Curry, no worry for the Warriors. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports. Despite missing injured star Steph Curry, Golden State stayed the course in Game 2.
Livingston to the rim off the glass. It's good! Golden State with their largest lead of the game. Timeout Rockets. And Oracle is a madhouse yet again.
Tim Roy on KNBR. The Rockets hung with them most of the night, but the Warriors' depth helped them pull away in the fourth and win 115-106. Taking a 2-0 series lead. In Oklahoma City, the visiting Mavericks narrowly escaped with a win.
Westbrook on the left side, around Anderson, met by Dirk to Durant, put it up, no good, rebound, no good, rebound, Adams put it in, they're going to count it, and Oklahoma City, for the moment, has won the game.
I don't think it's good.
I don't think it's good either.
I don't think it got off at that.
On KESN, they were right. The buzzer beater was waved off, and the Mavs win 85-84. The series now stands at 1 game apiece. To the north, where the Toronto Raptors have themselves their first playoff win since 2014. Jonas Valanciunas had 23 points and 15 rebounds as the Raptors contained the Pacers, and even the series at 1-1. Stanley Cup playoff action Monday night, headlined by some late-night heroics.
Left side, Pearson shoots, he scores! Tanner Pearson, overtime game-winning goal to Kings win it 2-1.
Nick Nixon on KABC 790 as the Kings outlast the Sharks and go up 2-1 of the first-round series. On the East Coast, the Capitals are making it look easy.
I head for Ovechkin, a shot, he scores! Ovechkin on a steal, gets to the right circle.
John Walton on the Capitals radio network. Alex Ovechkin's 2 goals helped Washington cruise past Philadelphia 6-1. The Capitals are 1 win away from eliminating the Flyers from the playoffs. And in Minnesota, Jason Pominville had an assist to go along with 2 goals as the Wild savage a game and cut the Stars' lead to 2-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Sean Wells.
Mike Zunino was off to a hot start down in AAA with Tacoma Rainiers. The Mariner catcher was named the PCL Player of the Week after starting the season with a .441 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Zunino added 2 more home runs yesterday in an 11-6 loss to the Albuquerque Isotopes. Zunino has now homered in 5 straight games and is just 2 shy of the Pacific Coast League modern record of 7 consecutive games with a home run. Shelton Baseball picked up their first league win of the season, taking care of Foss 11-1. The High Climbers are back in action hosting Foss this Wednesday. North Mason Baseball hosts first place North Kitsap at 4:15 this afternoon in Olympic League action. Shelton Soccer is on the road tonight at Mount Tahoma in Narrows League play. The Seattle Mariners hit the diamond this afternoon on the road in Cleveland. Wade Miley will hit the mound for the M's against Carlos Carrasco for the Indians. Pregame is live on iFIBER ONE News Radio at 2 p.m. First pitch set for 3:10. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, I'm Sean Wells.
Good morning. It's 8:40 and I'm Carol Gardner. It's another beautiful day today. Still warm from yesterday's break-in heat records. It was the hottest April day ever. Official high of 89. We should also hit the mid to upper 80s today, maybe breaking some more records. Hard to say. And tomorrow we're going to cool down a bit, but we're going to just be in the low 80s. And right now it's 60 degrees.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:38, iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. Seth Elson is in the lobby. He'll be in a few moments. He's the program development lead for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. We'll talk about some of the camps that they're going to be kicking off for the summer. Additionally, gas prices around the area are on the rise. Kim Wyman has made the proclamation that the 4 millionth registered voter in the great state of Washington has just been announced. That's pretty cool. ABC has updates on those 2 Arlington brothers that are still missing, and it's into day 8 on this. The gypsy moth spraying for today around the Tacoma area has already completed. They do it early in the morning, but likely to have another one tomorrow. And Arts Walk is upcoming this weekend. So a lot of great things to still talk with you about here on Daybreak at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Additionally, we'd like to encourage you to check out the new iFIBER1NewsRadio.com. Launched just yesterday. The new iFIBERNewsRadio.com is your place to get all the latest local news as it breaks. You can also find us via our mobile website at iFIBER1NewsRadio.com. It is formatted perfectly for your smartphone, whichever it may be. See those new smartphones? I want to say it's an LG. Anyways, you could take the battery out and replace the battery, keep spares with you. Yeah. Does your battery go dead that quick that you would need an extra battery with you?
I don't know. I think people just like to have that option. They like to have the option of being able to take out the battery or taking out the memory or putting more memory in. You know, they just want the option.
Make your own. As opposed to whatever.
Everything just, because like once it's done, then
there's not a lot to add. Sure. Yeah. Good point. All right. 8:41.
Full of them. Huh? I said I'm full of them.
We'll be right back after this.
listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6, and they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
I'm with Scott Alsterberg, sales manager at the all-new Gillis Auto Center here in Shelton. Scott, first of all, what's all new about Gillis?
Well, everything is, Dale. We have a new general manager. I'm the new sales manager. We have a new finance manager, and we have a new service manager.
Wow, so lots of new people.
We do.
And a new attitude, I guess.
We sure do. And we brought in some new qualified technicians and specialists so we can provide you with the best possible auto buying experience.
That sounds great. So new people, a new attitude, and lots of new cars?
Lots of cars. As a matter of fact, we have access to over 300 new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram pickups. We have 180 used cars of all makes and models.
How about the 2015 models? Are you running out of those?
We are, and until we run out of them, we are now offering all of our 2015 inventory in both the Ford and the Chrysler lineup at absolutely net zero pricing.
All new Gillis Auto Center, the city center exit in Shelton.
Just go to Gillis.
It's that time of year again for Seattle Mariners baseball, and iFIBER ONE News Radio is the only station to carry the Mariners in the South Sound. Be part of the team and advertise your business on iFIBER ONE News Radio's coverage of the Mariners broadcast every day this season. Summertime in the Northwest means people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities and listening to the Mariners while camping, fishing, and boating. And the only place to listen to the Mariners around Puget Sound is on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Your business should be part of the Mariners broadcast each day to hit one of the biggest listening audiences in radio. Choose from packages that get you on every game or every inning of over 150 games this season. Call the sales team at iFIBER ONE News Radio today at 360-426-1030 or email us at sales@ifiberone.com and sign up to be part of the great season of Mariners baseball.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:45, iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here with Jeff and Carol, and we are talking with Program Development Lead for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, Seth Elson. Morning, Seth.
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. It's a beautiful day outside. No complaints.
Well,
feels like summer already.
It certainly does. Near 90 or so yesterday. Holy moly. Salmon Center getting ready for the summer, and summertime means summer camps. What kind of summer camps are we looking at here?
Well, we're going to continue some of the programs we've had over the last few years. So we've done an annual Enviro Camp, which is kind of runs Mondays and Wednesdays through the summer. We'll have some info up on our website about that. And the big one, we're in our second year of doing this, is called Green Stream. So it's for grades 6 through 12, and it's all about connecting youth with their watershed.
Huh. So what would you do there? How do you connect with the watershed?
Well, each day, so it runs Fridays, July 8th to August 26th, from a whole day camp. So you can drop your kids off as early as 8 a.m., pick them up as late as 5, but we run 9 to 4, and just about every one of those sessions goes out on a field trip to a different part of your watershed. So to give you an example, if we wanted to go up into the mountains and talk about how mountains are connected to a watershed, we'll take a field trip up to Mount Walker, do some hiking, play some games up there. We might go down to the Skokomish Reservation on their estuary, or ours at the Salmon Center. We'll go swimming out on the Dewata River. just sort of do some beach exploration. So, everything's a little bit different, but it all ties into watersheds. And so we do that through a mix of games and activities, teaching, and then we come back and do a little bit of art. And that's kind of where the stream comes in. So science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math, a little bit of everything.
Huh, that sounds really cool. The cost for this, and I imagine it fills up pretty quick. People probably have to start signing up for this.
Yeah. So it's $5 a session. So we're trying to keep it really cheap. We want to get kids outside. Unfortunately, that we're lacking in that area right now, and so that's really important to us at the Salmon Center, is to see whatever we can do to make that happen. We want to do, and so $5 for the day, and it's a lot of fun. Kids enjoy it. Registration is open, so if you go to pnwsalmoncenter.org/greenstream, you'll find all the info there as far as dates, kind of what the plans are for field trips, and online registration.
So can some of those parents volunteer to chaperone also, or pay to chaperone?
Definitely. If people are interested to help chaperone, we would be very interested in hearing from you. But yeah, we've got a great team. We'll be leading it with a mix of some of our great education outreach interns, staff like myself. We've got some other local educators who will be part of it. So really good group.
Yeah, checking that out right now. You do have quite the difference of things to do. Cultural resources at the Skokomish Reservation, like you mentioned, Mount Walker. Very neat. That is a pretty cool thing. So what's it like when you are sitting there and you see the kids? So I'm just going to go off this picture. They're all looking through their binoculars out of the water. So you're sitting there, you kind of hear them at the beginning of the day, maybe not so into it, but then you get towards where they're on the water and there's the animals. And what do you hear them start to talk about, or how amazed they are with what's going on?
It's just really cool. I don't know a good way to sum it up, but we all would definitely say it's very rewarding to be part of it and to just see their amazement at the natural environment as they look around. We hosted 3 or 4 field trips last week, did some salmon releases with some kids from Belfair Elementary, and the same thing, long days, and the kids were definitely tired by the end of their field trips, but you could see they really, really enjoyed it, and they were curious as could be, and that's really what we want, is at the end, is curiosity, wanting to learn more, wanting to talk to their friends about it, because ultimately we need to train in the next generation, and that's what we're trying to do. So it's really great to see it.
Is there an age minimum?
So our target for this is grades 6 through 12. So we're a little bit flexible on that, but that's going to be about the grades.
And again, I'm sure it books quick. Is there a limit?
We're a little bit limited by our abilities to use our vans for transportation, but if we've got a great response, then we can definitely make things work. But I would definitely encourage people to sign up quick and call us with any questions.
pnwsalmoncenter.org/greenstream or 360-275-3575, extension 12. We'll put this on the website as well. It's all part of the Greenstream Summer Environmental Camps. What about adults? What can adults do to volunteer to help out at the Salmon Center this summer?
Oh, we got a little bit of everything. We've got lots of projects going on. One of the big things is just continuing our sustainable programs with our organic U-Pick garden and our community pea patches. So if you're interested in having some garden space, just lack it at home, you can come down and garden. If you want to help us with our U-Pick, we're trying to increase access to locally grown organic foods for the community. And so if you want to come down and garden a little bit, it's a really nice setting to be doing so, right across from the estuary. And again, we use it just as a good demonstration to show how salmon and agriculture can actually coexist if done in a sustainable way. And then come mid-August, we'll be starting our annual summer chum trapping. So we'll be looking for volunteers to fill our trap 24/7 for 2 months. So
that's right.
Pretty big project, but it's loads of fun as you start getting those really big, nasty-looking summer chum coming in.
Yeah.
So
pnwsalmoncenter.org, and you're on Highway 3.
We're just off Highway 3, yep. So if you're going up from Shelton, you take a left there at Roselle Road. We've got a little flag banner there. You can't miss the salmon, and you just go down there, and we're right on the estuary along the Stellar Wetlands, and trails right through with our estuary. So come down and visit us. It's a nice time of the year.
Program Development Lead Seth Elson for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, the Salmon Center in Belfair. Again, the phone number 275-3575, extension 12. Again, we'll put that on the website. Always good to see you, Seth.
Good to see you guys.
Have
Thanks
a great
again.
day. It's so nice out there.
I will.
Probably get stuck out looking at some fish and some water this morning.
Yeah, it sounds real hard.
8:50 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Take a break and start to wrap things up. Tell you about who's on the show tomorrow on just after this quick break.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Do you find yourself repeating silly warnings your parents told you as a kid? Today, it's all about those little untruths told with the best of intentions from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Tuesday, April 19th, the 110th day of the year. Actor James Franco has a birthday, and famed crime fighter Elliot Ness was born in 1903. We've been doing some fun reminiscing about things parents told us as kids that we've since found out weren't exactly true. Here's a few we remember. Drinking coffee will stunt your growth. Touching a toad will give you warts. Don't make a face or it'll freeze that way. And for boys, eating bread crust will put hair on our chest. Of course, science hadn't debunked all those warnings at the time, so we can't say they were outright fibs. There are still a lot of us, after all, who think you should wait an hour after eating before going for a swim. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more fun facts online at almanac.com.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:53 on a Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. Jeff and Carol here. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
Had a little... Well, coming up at 9 o'clock, we've got ABC News. Mary Lynn Foster's in just after that with an update for us on the latest in local news. Tom Hartman gets underway there, and then he'll be on till noon. Dave Ramsey after that. And tomorrow is going to be kind of an interesting day around the old radio ranch, as it is traditionally a major marijuana day. It is 420, and we decided to spend some of the morning, a third of the morning actually, talking about the marijuana industry. We'll start it off with a conversation at 7:15 with Tom from TJ's, which was the first retail shop open in the city.
Right.
See how it's been, how he's been going on. Also, 2 years ago, I guess it's been about 2 years or so, we met a guy named Steve, and he was with AgroPack. Well, he's had some ups and downs going through this maze of marijuana laws and all the regulations. So he's going to come on at 7:45 so we can get an update from him. Pretty cool stuff, as it is a big industry. Mary Lynn Foster's talking about it in her newscast. The city of Tumwater moving from beer to bud, as it were, as it used to be the water. Now it's the plants.
We need a
It's a little catchier than that, maybe. But you know what I'm saying. So that's what's going on tomorrow. Also tomorrow, in addition, we'll have Transit Talk and Port of Call. Woke up this morning with a little bit of a headache, and I'm never really sure how to deal with these things. There are over-the-counter pharmaceuticals that you can take, and you've taken them for years, and I still am not 100% sure what they do other than work. How they work, I don't know. Tuesdays is a tech day for ABC News, and today, not necessarily headaches, but paralysis and the potential for help from brain implants.
From ABC News, Tech Trends. New hope for patients suffering from spinal cord injuries. 24-year-old Ian Burkhart broke his neck in a swimming accident 6 years ago, leaving him partially paralyzed. He has since begun undergoing experimental treatments to try to restore mobility in his limbs. Researchers implanted a tiny chip in Ian's brain, which is connected to a special sleeve on his arm. Dr. Ali Rezai explains how the implant works.
By using the power of his mind, by thinking about the movements and the intention to move, he's able to get functional recovery and move his hands on demand.
Burkhart says movement is fluid.
Kind of like it was before I had my injury, where I just think about what I want to do, and now I can do it.
For now, the concept will remain in a laboratory for continued testing and refinement. But Burkhart says this technology is very promising.
Now that we've been able to really see that it's something that can work, I know that in the future it'll really be able to help a lot of people.
With Tech Trends, I'm Karen Chase, ABC News.
Wow, so a sleeve on your arm, I'm guessing that looks something like one of those compression sleeves that athletes wear, connected to your brain, and just thinking about the movement stimulates impulses on that sleeve and helps the guy move like before.
Yeah. The power of your mind and how it directs your chemical processes. I mean, we are just starting to learn all about that type of stuff.
That is amazing. I've seen other videos where people with, what does Michael J. Fox have?
Parkinson's.
Well, when the Parkinson's gets in advanced stages and there's heavy shaking going on, I've seen implants that they'll do some sort of a pulse and it goes away.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the brain, how it conducts us and how we actually can influence that.
How? What does that mean?
Well, how you're, by thinking, like this guy's just thinking about it and he's influencing the chip to do what he wants it to do.
We are on the edge. I mean, we're always on the edge of major technology breakthroughs, but every day it just gets more and more amazing.
It is. It's really amazing. If you listen to Dr. He's a science fantastic.
Michio Kaku, science fantastic.
He had a book out about all the new really cool things that are happening with brain science.
Oh, yeah, you read that.
So, yeah, I read it. It's awesome. And he probably does touch on it during his radio shows, which are on Saturdays
and Sundays. Yeah.
And he's just great to listen to because he's just so excited and passionate about what he talks about. And yeah, all the breakthroughs that are happening all the time. It's pretty amazing. It's really cool.
So there is a little bit of a technological advancement for that part that we were just talking about. But when you think about the power of the mind, the body can most often do most anything. It's just the block up in your brain that says, no, you can't do that.
Well, I don't know if it's the block in your brain or if it's the block in your mind.
What's the difference?
Well, what's the mind? That's the question. That's the big question of the day. What's the mind versus what's the brain?
Oh, you're going deep down that rabbit hole, Carol. I have no idea what you just said. It's 8:59 at iFIBER One Radio. We will be back tomorrow. We continue to...
if we don't get lost in one of those big parks out in Mason County.
We're going to head out. We got to head out to one of these parks. It's such a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
We'll end up at one of these hidden gems. What a great interview with Jeff Rabel this morning.
Yeah.
Check out the replay on iFIBER One News Radio. Some 22 parks in the county. We were just talking to Seth Elson from the Salmon Center, and he's been around these parts forever.
Yeah.
And he in every year he's finding out new things.
Yeah.
Some 13 parks in the city, some 22 parks in the county. And then, oh, by the way, forgot to mention the fact that we got Mount Rainier, the Olympics.
Yeah.
We're park crazy.
Yeah. We have a lot to do around here.
We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day. Sunscreen. Watch out for the dogs and the kids and the elderly in cars with the windows rolled up. It's going to be another hot one.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Dave Ramsey helps you handle your money. Weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER One News Radio. AM 1030, FM 1033, KMAS.